Okay, welcome everybody. This is September 8th, Monday, and the Select Board meeting. To remind everybody, we are meeting on the 2nd and 4th for this month because of the holiday that's on the first Monday of the month. We normally do first and third. So with that, let's go ahead and open the meeting as usual with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, quick roll call. Dave Hemingway, Chair of the Select Board.
Milo Herrick.
John Clark.
And so that is our entire three-member board. For meeting rules and procedures, since we do have a bunch of new faces, though I don't think it's going to be a problem as everybody's appointments for the most part, we tend to follow school rules, so please don't interrupt people. Please raise your hand and we will absolutely try to include you in on the conversation. One other point that I'll make there is we do have a live stream that is going on and recorded. It will pick up everything in the audience very well, including small talk. And if you are having problems hearing any of us up here, we do have a audio system that we can get the mics out and get speaker assist. But most of us are not accused of being hard to hear. So please let us know, but we don't generally need to break it out. With that said, we'll move into announcements. I guess I'll do a non-town announcement first before turning it over to Dana for the others. And that would be to say that the Local Energy Solutions Conference is happening September 25th at Manchester, as it does each year. And our Energy Committee is usually there. And there's usually a lot of talk about how things are working in the state, how they could work, and the way forward at that. With that, any further announcements for the town?
I have a few announcements. I just wanted to say the bridge project is going well and on schedule, knock on wood. And to date, we've been billed $2,551,000, and we have we expect another $1,202,000. Therese is here, and we're gonna be talking to you about that during the department head. Health Trust is holding a few public hearings in December, one to address the proposed bylaws. I would have given them to you, although I clicked their link and they didn't have them there. And the other is and these are normal every year meetings, regarding the rate setting and determination about the surplus and how much surplus they're going to return. As Dave mentioned, we're in the second and fourth meeting Monday this month. We'll be going back to the 1st and 3rd in October. So the next meeting is October 6th, which budget reviews will start on that night.
Just to clarify, that will be the next meeting after September.
That will be
This is
the
our
meeting
first
after
September meeting.
September.
So
Correct.
yes. The
Oh,
22nd
I'm sorry,
is
yes,
our
the next meeting will be September,
22nd.
thank you, September 22nd. Building projects completed. The rear exit from the Grange Hall is complete. The rails in the office hallway are complete. I'm still hoping that the building will be painted. And I noticed that we need to repair the cupola, and I'm gonna ask Chris August to come take a look at it. And the stage curtains, I think you mentioned those, we're gonna look into to replace those. And that's it.
Are there any further announcements from the board? Okay, any of our department heads have announcements to make? All right. I guess I will leave that with Detour Road is still occasionally closed for passing. So make sure that you're keeping up to date and try to use Pleasant instead when you can. Look for the signage that does go up at the end of the road beforehand. So with that,
And tomorrow it will be shut down again because they're gonna pour 95 yards of concrete on the deck. The deck's gonna be poured
Okay,
tomorrow,
yes.
so, once the school buses go through at 8 o'clock, cause I work with them, not daily, but pretty close. And then they come back through again at 10 past, 3 in the afternoon, so, concrete's going on tomorrow. 95 yards, there'll be 10 concrete trucks. And a big pump will be set up crossways the road on D Blake's side, to pump it across.
awesome.
So there'll be a lot going on at that intersection tomorrow, so, the bridge company, we just figured it would be easier just to
That makes
make it
sense.
safe.
And they're putting up appropriate signage saying it's.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
All right.
Nobody pays attention to it, but we put it out.
Well, no, I understand that quite clearly, you know.
Yes.
So if he pays attention to the speed signs even, that's neither here nor there.
All right, so with that, and being all of our announcements, let's go ahead and move into our appointments. The first of which is with NHDES. Please come on down.
Hello, I'm Charlie Krautman. I'm with the DES Dam Bureau, and I'm part of the engineering and construction group. We're tasked with rehabbing and the 275 state-owned dams. So here in Webster, we have Night Meadow Pond Dam, and it was built in 1966. And it doesn't meet all of the dam safety requirements, such as discharge capacity for the 50 or 24-hour storm, because it's a low hazard dam. So our construction crew is going to rebuild it next spring/summer. And so part of RSA 42:13 is to provide public notification for drawdowns, which we did in the Concord Monitor about a month ago, and also to show up to the town's select board meeting to answer any questions related to the project.
And I believe I saw we put that on our website as well.
The meeting was on the website,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
So, yeah, starting after Columbus Day, we'll draw the pond down completely, which will probably be about 4.5 feet. And we'll leave it like that until it's completely reconstructed, which will be next summer or fall, I would estimate. A lot of that depends on weather.
What kind of construction is the dam, and what will it be?
Yeah, so currently it's a stop log bay and then a concrete overflow structure and an earthen embankment. And we might have to extend the concrete overflow structure to provide more discharge capacity. And or we might have to raise the crest of the dam to get more discharge capacity out of it. So we'll probably completely remove the stop log bay and redo all of that concrete and cut some of the existing concrete and reface it so that it lasts another 50 to 100 years. But we don't have a full design yet.
Is that part of protocol? You'll have a new design of what it's gonna be? And then when you drain the water, where do you drain it to?
Downstream.
Downstream, just it goes
Oh,
downstream.
Brian, would you let him answer the question?
I can't remember, what's the name of the brook there? Yeah, it's Night Meadow Brook, which I
Yeah,
think
just,
a
yeah, just,
little
it'll just
further
drain it.
downstream, Winnapocket's right down there.
Yeah, so it'll end up, that's really what I was kind of just asking.
Yeah.
about
It'll
the
go
drainage.
through our new culvert we have there
Okay.
and under White Plains Road.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and we won't pull all the boards at once, we'll, every few days we'll pull a board or two, and it'll drop 6 to 12 inches every day.
Graduated drainage.
Yeah, and we do that based on New Hampshire Fish and Game recommendations, so that the amphibians and
Wildlife.
all the other wildlife can accommodate.
And maybe not with this particular dam and body of water, but residents in town are familiar with this process. as it happens with Pillsbury Lake Dam every single year. We always do that going into winter and lower the lake. All right.
So, will that will be funded from the Fish and Game?
It's a fishing game on dam,
Correct.
but DES, the Dam Bureau, is charged with maintenance and operation of the, because fishing game doesn't have staff. So it's funded through our capital appropriations.
Cool.
Yeah.
Are there any other questions or comments?
Charlie, in the event I'm asked, what effect does that have on the wildlife as far as the fish and the, everything in the brook? Conservation may ask me that.
Yeah, I guess the timing of it, because there's a possibility that late winter we would be ready to move over there, but that's why we're doing that this fall, the drawdown. Also because a lot of the birds set up nest in the spring, and that's likely when we're gonna be out there, so it's better to do it preemptively. But yeah, as for the other wildlife, I mean, this is what we do, and we do this throughout the state, draw down ponds.
Yeah,
and
I understand, but
when
are
we
you saying
refill
that the effect will be minimal?
Yeah,
Okay. That's-
yeah, when we refill them, I mean, we've heard anecdotally that the fishing is sometimes better after the refill. I think for a place like Night Meadow, having it drained through the winter will freeze off a lot of the vegetation, and it'll have a lot more open water for the next few years, because it's weeded in considerably.
Thank you.
You mentioned that plans would be forthcoming because they're not complete yet.
That's right.
Do you have an estimation of around when that would happen, and we would get a copy to, for example, share with our conservation committee?
Yeah, we'll go through the entire wetlands process, so that will be submitted, the permit will be submitted to the Conservation Commission. I would estimate sometime this fall or winter that'll
Okay.
come through.
Perfect. All right, any other questions, comments, or things you'd like us to know about it?
So the trout fishing should be pretty good in the pocket next year. Everything goes down straight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you very much for coming.
Thanks a lot.
And that will move us forward to our next appointment, which is the IT contract. Come on down. Welcome. And is there anything you want to preface this with, or should we just give them the floor?
Well, you had spoken about this a little bit at the last meeting. Russ has been working with Cassandra regarding a proposal. And I believe in your last packet, you had gotten the proposal. And they were nice enough to come and meet with us in person.
Well, thank you for coming. It's always a pleasure to put faces to contracts and consultants, so thank you. I guess I'll go ahead and just give you the floor to start with then.
Yeah. Do you want to start with it? Yeah. I think originally Russ and I kind of connected and talked a little bit about the challenges that the town has currently right now with the existing IT vendor. So we talked a little bit about at length at that, where you folks are at from a technology perspective. We had the chance to come out and do a site visit to see the lay of the land, if you will, and visit the town hall as well as the police department, and talk a little bit with their team as well, in regards to their needs. So as far as the existing agreement that we had put together, from my standpoint and kind of reviewing that with Russ and Dana, was that the existing proposal met the needs of the town from a standpoint of the response time, quality of service, including strategic planning moving forward, making sure that there's, backup and disaster recovery plans in place. I know that one of the things that we had talked about, and obviously without, access to the existing equipment, we can only do some auditing from the information perspective, but, and one of the first things that we would wanna do is, work with you folks from a service perspective and then develop a plan for moving forward on, refresh cycles. And, you know, I know Russ had expressed some interest in moving to the cloud as much as possible, or, you know, taking a look and evaluating different options. That's one thing that I feel that we're really strong in. So when it comes down to servicing the towns that we do, we always put together multiple solutions that they might desire, whether that's replacing the physical hardware, looking at a hybrid solution, or fully cloud, so they can properly evaluate what's the best option for them. But as far as our agreements, are all-inclusive in the sense that we include remote and on-site support. You have a dedicated customer success advocate, weekly and monthly reporting on how we're doing from a maintenance perspective. We have security monitoring that's around the clock as well, from an EDR, endpoint detection and response, managed detection and response. They can isolate machines if a threat's detected. It also looks for and protects against, there's web-based filtering to block malicious websites, advanced email security for spam and phishing threats, and then multi-factor authentication. So we are a security-first company. It's something we take pretty seriously. So every single one of our agreements, that's a minimum security package that comes along with it. And then we also have the normal and traditional security monitoring on hardware and things like that, and patching, as well as the help desk services. So from that standpoint, we kind of talked about that. We are a Microsoft partner as well. We support both the commercial tenants as well as we've moved a lot of the police departments, and some of the towns have taken the leap to go to a government tenant. So as far as our expertise, Armand's been supporting municipalities for 3
years.
Yeah. So we feel that it's a good fit. I don't know if you want to add anything to that?
No, I think that we have extensive experience, obviously, with working with municipalities. We've been in business for 23 and a half years, almost 24 years at this point. So we know the major vendors, if you will. We have the contacts out there. We've fought the battles, and we know what it takes to support the local governments and the needs. So I think one of the keys to what Cassandra stated earlier was that, you know, it's a partnership with, you know, our clients, and, you know, putting together a technology roadmap is extremely important, because what we may think is important are gonna be the obvious things, what you guys are talking about in your town hall meetings and your staff meetings and so forth. That'll obviously come into play to help us, you know, work together to build the right technology solutions for the town moving forward.
Mhm.
Whether that's, you know, the town hall, police, fire, etc.
So I guess I'll open with a pair of questions, somewhat related to each other. Many of the services that you mentioned, filtering and so on, are traditionally within the firewall, of which we have some, but some of them are, depending on where they are, can be dated. Is that something where, when you're talking about everything as a package, you're managing what's there, or looking to replace that and re-engineer it? And/or do you have, and the second part of the question is, whether it's firewalls or servers or desktops, do you have any sort of preferential or lock-in towards brands? I know
Great
a
question.
lot of different companies, for example, will only ever sell you a Dell. And that's fine for a desktop or something, not necessarily always great for some of the other options.
Great question. We do not force our clients to purchase particular hardware in it itself. We'll advise them on what our recommendation is, but we won't not support their existing hardware, so we don't require our clients to displace what they have.
As long as it has a service contract,
Right.
maintenance contract to it, because once something becomes end of life, then
Once
it's
you
obsolete.
can't get security
That-
updates for it,
exactly.
Yeah,
right, right.
so there's obviously, and those are conversations, we can't force folks to have budgets or to lean a certain way, but our job, and one thing that Tim has instilled in our organization is, if we do well educating our clients around the importance of it and how technology works and why it's important, then, we're empowering them to make the right decisions. As far as the desktop side, we sell all the different manufacturers from, Microsoft to Dell, Lenovo, HP. So that's same thing. We work a lot with the Dell and HP servers, but we have some other vendors as well that provide like hypervisor solutions. We support clients, the majority are Microsoft. We do have Dell clients, or I'm sorry, Google clients as well. But as far as displacing that, we don't do that. When it comes down to your first part of your question about, changing configurations, I think one of the things that I did not mention in the overview, but I had talked with Dana and Russ about, was we are set apart from our competitors in the sense that we actually do proactive reviews. So as you know, technology changes a lot. So as new features and functionalities become available, say in firewalls, or best practices or standards change, we do ongoing reviews so we can provide recommendations, because those change, very frequently in the technology area. So when those become available, we'll make those recommendations, but we baseline every customer coming in the door. And then that provides transparency where everybody's at, so we can make recommendations, whether they're small configuration changes in the beginning that don't cause any disruptions, while others might be like server replacements that need to be budgeted for, down the line, as an example. But that just helps everybody kind of get on the same page from the beginning, and then set some goals and expectations for, the years to follow.
And then the other part to your first part of your first question there was the security layers that we add. Obviously, there's the firewall level that we may have our proxies and filters to make sure people can go to certain websites and not other websites. But we also add a second component that is installed on the workstation or end device, so that if we do have a laptop that's a mobile device, or the chief has the mobile devices that are in the cruisers, when the devices are not behind the corporate firewall, if you will, we still have that level of protection, so that someone can't inadvertently go to a site that they shouldn't go to, or potentially click on a link that has malicious code embedded on it, to be then installed on the local machine and then taken back into behind the network, and then everything, we know what happens after that. So that's the layered approach that we have. We want redundancy because nothing is perfect.
So for the last one there, are you doing that with installed software that, for making it easier for everybody to understand, is more like antivirus software? Or are you doing it with overlay networks instead of like VPNs and stuff, so all the traffic still flows through internally?
Yeah, we're not overlaying with like a VPN Express or something to that. It's another piece of software that sits on it that's monitoring.
Okay.
I have a question.
Sure.
If we have an intrusion in the community, in the system, do you folks handle that yourself now? That can have many layers, as we both know.
Mhm.
I come at it from a little different angle than my colleague over here. But with that being said, obviously the police department is very important, but if somebody tries to get into the town system to do whatever, embezzle, whatever, and you know the history around New Hampshire where that's at, but I'm sure without me getting into that.
Right.
Explain to me how you handle that. And I'm asking that question, not to tax your brains and or be challenging in any way, but I've seen all kinds of actions take place, and I guess what I'm hearing, and I just want to make sure I'm hearing, is you don't go out to a third-party vendor, and I can name you 2 or 3 of them. I'm not going to, you know them as well as I do. One sits with an insurance company here in this state. Do you folks handle that yourself? Because I saw the contract, and we're paying a relatively good fee,
Right.
and I'm thinking, if we have a problem, I guess what I would want is a hometown vendor to take care of it and assure us up front. I have not been pleased. I've been on board here 4 or 5 months, so I'm just a newbie. but I've not been pleased in trying to hook my computer up, and I have a second part to my question, so.
From that perspective, to
Yeah.
answer the question.
Yeah, please.
We have our own NOC, if you will,
Yep.
Network Operations Center, Security Operations Center.
Nice.
So if something were to happen, we can, within a matter of moments, identify what's trying to occur across the network, isolate it, segment it, to prevent what we all know, without being.
Good answer to a question.
So that's that.
The second part of that I have is I have a concern from the previous employer I worked with. I worked with the legal team, and we never used our personal computers. And I have a concern, if something did happen in our community, board members here, and I think David's got his personal computer here, what could we do better? And I suggest working with our town administrator on this topic. But what can we do better to not have to work off our personal computers? I am very hesitant to put any town information. I don't want somebody subpoenaing my computer.
Right.
I'm not doing anything nefarious on it. I'm a big privacy person. And I don't think any of these people do either, if you know what I'm saying.
So some of our municipalities are in the same boat. So some have a BYOD policy, whereas others will
Bring
go
your own
ahead.
device.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, bring your own device, sorry. Where others will go ahead and purchase low-end devices.
That's where I'm going with you.
Right, so
Yep.
just low-end devices, whether it's a Chromebook or a low-end.
So-
For some of them are refurbs, you
So-
can get them, they're certified refurb machines.
So part two of part one. I really wish you'd work, if we're gonna do a contractor, I really wish you folks, and I'm sure you would, because it was impressive. That would work with Russ and the town administrator to see what we can do to get the computers for us.
Absolutely.
Because I don't think we should be doing anything on our personal computer
I
whatsoever.
would agree.
Any type of talking, any type of messaging back and forth, I'm very uncomfortable with it. And I've seen people, I've seen companies, I worked for one, where people's personal phones, and everybody wanted the company to pay for the phone. Well, guess what? If it becomes a nefarious situation, you lose your phone. You get subpoenaed.
Right.
And so I'm just concerned about that, and I think I would appreciate that to be part of, and probably, I know our town administrator and Russ work off town computers, but I think it creates an issue.
Yeah, no,
One,
absolutely.
one thing I would state there is that there's a difference between being discoverable and subpoenaable and being part of the workflow. And so from a privacy standpoint, someone being able to discover your stuff, they can do a discovery on your email, which is held by the town. But they can't do a discovery on your device unless you're using your device to do other things in other channels, not through, for example, the email.
Well,
If everything's going through that,
I'll be
then,
perfectly honest with
then
you.
that's what they go for.
I don't trust the system. I know what you're saying,
Yes.
but I think.
On a security standpoint, it's absolutely great to not touch.
I don't
a
think we should be
personal
doing
person's
any town
system.
business on our personal computers. And I think every company out there, and every organization, both public and private, and these people are shaking their heads, they know what I'm talking about. I just don't think we should be doing it. And I'm just making that point, and I think if we're gonna negotiate things here, I mean, this is a pretty hefty contract, we should have that discussion with respect. Okay? Thank you. Yes?
I will state that when I was coming onto the board, which is now a couple cycles old, I was told that we were gonna have iPads up here. That's actually why there were 3 Chromebooks ordered. But basically, they were so delayed and so annoying to use that nobody would. And it was right in the middle of the pandemic and Zoom calls, so it took a minute and a half to be able to raise a hand in a Zoom call and respond to something. So they just weren't functional for the job. Fortunately, they do work for taking meeting minutes and stuff like that.
Well, I think you know what I'm saying.
But
I'm not
yes.
trying to make a big to-do, but I'm just saying, if we're in contract.
But
law, it's
they
good
can
time.
absolutely provide great
Yep.
recommendations, we would have to come up with funding to do it. But yes,
Well,
any further questions for them?
I have a question.
Yes.
Speaking of funding, it's important, for me anyway, to have like an annual meeting to review what we have and what you suggest that we plan for.
Yeah.
And things like that, so that's something I think
That's
is
a cool
very
thing.
important. I know that you have several municipal, clients, and did you tell me you got an email today?
I sent that today.
Yeah, okay, so that we can do references and
Yes.
find out you're not axe murderers or things like that.
Exactly.
And, you know, and then, of course, the cybersecurity, which is way over my head, but I need, you know, I think that's very important for us to focus on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and our agreements are, we talked a little bit about the cybersecurity, that's our minimum threshold, which I'll tell you, in seeing other competitors' proposals, the amount of security that we provide at a minimum is 6 solutions, and most of them only come with 2. So just to give you a comparison and what that is. But we also will always recommend more and provide the education around the benefits of it. So there's always more that you can add, right? We also work with some of the cybersecurity grant providers in New Hampshire, so like the Overwatch Foundation, and Adam Group, who provides incident response services for the state of New Hampshire, on different initiatives. So we team up with them also to provide different security services that they'll cover under grant funding as well. So just depending on, you know, what you folks are looking for, we provide that base package, but again, there's always more that is available for you folks to add as well.
So you're saying that, there are plans out there that you might be able to get grants toward, helping with the cost of it? Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Yeah, so it just
Yeah.
depends on what the grants are available for. So right now, some of the common ones are like upgrading some of the domains to .govs to help with impersonation. Some of the districts are having challenges with safeguarding like water systems, because those have been kind of isolated historically. And then there's one other department that's been, it's not highway, but there's one other department that I think that has been kind of standoffish with, they've got antiquated software and only a firewall, but nobody to monitor it. So they've been helping fund some of those initiatives, and so we've been working with them, and they've been providing the grant funding to get the towns up to be able to do that.
And my final question, I guess, is, I would like help with inventorying what we have.
Yeah.
And yes, I could go around and look at everyone, what they have and write it down, but I need someone who knows what they're looking at.
Right.
So that would be very good.
That's a
We
part
can
of the
pull-
onboarding.
Yeah, we could pull an inventory once, at any point in time. I mean, if a new device, or new devices were added for the select board, you know, within a day,
Mhm.
we would have that information as well.
Would you be able to associate a value with it?
We can. We actually just started doing that recently for a lot of even shipping. So we provide what we call as depot services for folks. So some folks have like remote staff working, you know, around the United States, if you will. So it's required to be able to do those kinds of things. So
Okay, because I'm looking to depreciate some of the equipment that we have.
sure.
Already, I'm trying to get rid of it.
Yep. And we do, one more thing too, that we do is we have free technology recycling as well, that provides a certificate of destruction as well. So a lot of towns, if we're refreshing hardware and stuff, they wanna know that their hard drives are being safely destructed and getting a certificate for that. So we have a partner that we leverage that takes care of all of that as well.
How many staff do you have to respond if someone needs to come here?
We're close to 40 folks.
Yeah.
So, I
Really?
mean, it's, you know, you shouldn't have a problem with.
Okay. So is there a method that you use to prioritize? If you have 40 staff members, I guess you have plenty of people to respond.
It's
but-
really a matter of the urgency. So if the network is down, I mean, we have SLAs in the contract. So what we put in the contract, regardless of the staff, you
Yeah.
know, we're going to,
Okay.
you know, try to meet our SLA, give or take 5 minutes.
Right.
You know, we just ask that, you know, if we're en route to the location, you know, and there's a weather incident, please don't hold us to what's on paper.
Well, that wasn't the contract.
That's exactly
That's when I said I was impressed when I read
Yeah.
it. Is that, you know, but those are some very good points you're making.
Yeah, absolutely.
We do not allow bad weather here.
Regarding one of the points that you made about security first all the time, one of the things that has happened in the past because of, I'll say the previous standard way of doing maintenance of machines is someone will all of a sudden just start controlling a system because they can and they wanted to do something, or an update will just start happening. Are you using methods that would allow that, even if it's not best practice? Or are you doing things like zero knowledge or the zero trust standpoints, so that like you can't actually access it until they tell you that you can't?
That's a protocol, yeah, for us, definitely. The patching, we do have patching windows.
That's agreed upon with the town ahead of time.
That's part of the onboarding process, is to discuss when, we have desktop patching windows and server patching windows. And so those happen, after hours, of course, on a schedule. We would, you know, it's usually, I think, between like 1 and 4 AM. That being said, patches get pushed down to computers every day. Some of them, as you know, require restart. So one of the things that we just try to educate, our clients around is just making sure that they leave their systems on, to make sure that the patches are reaching them and they can restart at night. Otherwise, it will happen the next time it reboots. But the 0-day patches go out immediately, obviously.
And we will call the point of contact
Yeah.
to be able to say, this is urgent.
Right.
We need to, do this right away. Is there a process, a department that you'd like us to start with, and then go from that perspective?
Mhm.
What organizations do your members, or maybe the two of you, depending on where your management team, I'm not that familiar, obviously, with the management team. What organizations do you belong to in the state? Do any of you belong to Infragat or any of the other organizations that have updated current security analysis going on? I know you mentioned the other group there.
Yes.
Down in, was it Londonderry or somewhere?
Yeah, so we're partners with Adam Group. They do the incident response for the state. They're partners with Primex.
Right.
We work pretty closely with Primex, just from, they can't technically be partners or advised to, because they're an insurance company, if you
Right.
will, but we work very closely with them.
So you're familiar with Jason, who was involved?
Yeah, very, very
Yeah,
closely, yeah.
Infragat, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a good group of people, I'm just
Right.
trying
And
to
he
connect.
was actually part of Infraguard, and our CIO is, he's in the process of re-registering, but our CIO, who handles the cybersecurity for the organization, is an Infraguard
Good,
member.
good, that's where I was going, I was on the board of
Great
directors
question.
for it. That's-
Nice.
Yeah, so that wasn't my concern, that you were
Yeah.
participating in that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, great, that's good to hear.
All right.
And I'm done. But stand by, I'll think of something.
All right, we do have three of our other department heads sitting here that would be able to make use of this service. Do you have any questions or concerns or comments from there?
So all the stuff they talked to is so far over my head. I push mine on, I punch the buttons and it works, so that's what they're gonna have to do.
But
But
from
everything-
your perspective, not to interrupt you, we make sure that every single engineer that would work on any police department equipment is CETA certified. So from that perspective, I take that very serious, and anyone that is allowed to work on any of your equipment has gone through the certification process.
Awesome.
It's good to know.
All right. Well, I guess that would conclude it. Are there any public comments or questions for this? This is the town's services. So. I guess I'll ask one other question, because you're used to providing the different concepts for moving forward. You obviously are familiar that we have an ancient server. Without going into details of it and configurations and stuff, what do you typically see as the difference in cost for a lifespan of replacing or building out a server versus putting the services on a cloud server or similar?
So typically, the issue with municipalities.
Just as we think about budgeting forward,
Yeah.
Well,
because that's coming up.
the issue is we don't know enough about the applications that you're using here, so we're using Avatar, BMSI, I'm sure there's ClerkWorks, et cetera, et cetera. What I tell our clients, regardless of whether they're municipalities or the public sector, is if we're going to go to the cloud, and that's the end game, then we wanna make sure that we have redundant internet connections here. Because if, the internet connection goes down and someone walks into the tax collector's office or the clerk's office and they can't pay or register or whatever, then it's an issue. To that point, the ClerkWorks and the BMSI type of applications, and I think even Avatar at this point, are not cloud ready with that application. Could we take the application and spin it up in Microsoft Azure and serve it out? Absolutely, but before we do that, we wanna check the boxes to make sure that we have the redundancy, and that we wanna make sure that things are working correctly, especially from the clerk's perspective.
But just kind of generically, what do you typically see as the overhead percentage for moving from?
It depends on the number of people on the applications that,
Okay.
the number of people, so the way it works is it's a consumption cost that's calculated by storage, usage, and how many folks need to access it, so crazy math you wouldn't be able to put together basically, but essentially, we've seen very small companies that have 4 people, as an example, with a couple servers, that it costs $600 a month, but then we have other towns where we've done this assessment where they might have 30 individuals that need to connect to all those applications that aren't cloud-based. And so that drives the cost up where it doesn't actually financially make sense. So we evaluate it every year, and we'll show you what the cost is and show you the differences like we discussed. But as I
Sometimes it's a
discussed,
hybrid type of solution where we'll take the
Right.
documents, if you will, not to interrupt
Yep.
Cassandra, but the document component of it, we can move that up in the cloud, because if I can't connect to a Word document, that's okay. But the applications that are, point of sale, if you will, whether it's tax or clerk, et cetera, we would wanna house that local, so that the horsepower of that machine doesn't need to necessarily be that great, because it's only functioning for
A few people.
Exactly.
a lot of the police departments, though, I will say all of our police departments have moved fully to the cloud. If they, for them, a lot of times, and it really depends on, again, each police department, what they're leveraging, but some of the police departments are using dispatch out of other counties, and they no longer need to house their records internally. So they might have backups where they historically have records they still need to reference, where we've created other solutions for that, but if they are using the other counties, then they've been able to just move those to, say, SharePoint. We move them to a government solution, and they no longer need a server. So the towns are really just waiting for their apps to either, some of them to get less that they're utilizing that aren't cloud-based, so it won't be so much in computing costs, but the police departments are pretty much there.
But we still would configure the services so that the authentication for those various departments, police departments if you will, is there, so that they are logging in with, secure
Right.
username, password, et cetera. So
Yeah.
Microsoft's
Intune
Entra
and Entra.
services.
Mhm.
Right.
Getting back to what our town administrator was saying about meetings, I think I saw in your contract, correct me if I'm wrong, meeting quarterly. Was that in your contract?
So we give the option, so when we have a dedicated client success manager that has monthlies, and it's really done on the preference of the client, so it can be monthly, quarterly. We really don't wanna push it to only talking once a year, but then the actual formal budget meetings are more semi-annually, right? So we need to know when you folks start to prepare for budget. We'll do it on the services side, also on the vendor side, so preparing like your Microsoft renewals that I know, Russ, you were handling. Any of the projects, we'll present warranty renewals for you folks. So once we do that full inventory, We actually have a system that reports back on licensing expirations, hardware, life cycle, and you can actually get a quarterly report that we'll send out to you, so you can see all of your assets and where those live and how old they are and when they're expiring. So they'll send you those proactive renewals, so we plan obviously annually, but you also get 90-day reminders when they're coming up, so you can say, yeah, I wanna renew the warranty on, you know, maybe it's the police department and the town administrator, but don't wanna do it on the board of selectmen machines, right, or whatever the case may be. So all of that is put into a package as well as the projects that we present, and then you can we'll make our recommendation and you can select what you wanna move forward with.
So I did see quarterly.
Yes.
So what I wanted to extend with what Dana was saying was, during the first year, being we're a new client and you're a new company,
Sure.
and taking his recommendation, which I think was good, I mean, obviously, would it be wise to meet quarterly the first year?
Absolutely.
And it doesn't cost us any more money?
Absolutely not, no.
No.
I mean, just a thought.
For us, open communication is what makes us successful, and bi-directional communication, because we're not here, you're the eyes and ears, right? So things could be changing, and if we're not being told, we're less successful too in making the right recommendation. So I think it's critical to do that.
And sometimes we don't have to, I mean, I always tell our customers, don't wait for that meeting on the 15th of said month. If something comes up, pick the phone up, we're
Right.
always there. And you know what, if we need to come out to meet, you know, we'll come out to meet. If it's a phone call, you know, we'll do a phone call. It's a
After hours
partnership,
meeting,
right?
same thing.
Well, I've witnessed some of Dana's experiences with the other company, and I saw and I shared his frustration a couple of days with it. So I'm just asking these questions, you know, as you probably figured out, I'm the communications degree guy, not the IT guy, but you know what I'm saying. He has it down, but, you know, the little things that I've seen through the years, and specifically that security function, but I think communication is very important in a company.
Absolutely.
All right. Any other comments or questions? Or anything else that you would like to say?
Well, thank you for giving us the opportunity.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
What is our process at this point? I know you're going to reach out for referrals and references. Do we consider it our next meeting then, whether we want to sign a contract or?
I think that would probably make sense,
Okay.
to put it on the agenda for next time.
Okay.
Should they be here for that?
I don't think they need to be here for that, yeah, because we can talk about them behind their backs.
Certainly welcome.
Thank you.
I always say what I think.
Oh, we're a small town, right?
We'll put it on for the next time, because Russ did get the list today.
So,
And he can.
Can we have a
that
quick
process.
discussion now?
And I guess it would be interesting to see what the board feels after meeting.
Well,
with-
knowing nothing about anything they spoke about, these very nice presentation.
Well,
And they seem to answer every question, and they seem to be on top of what they're supposed to be doing.
that
And
is
then-
what's important to
Right?
me.
I don't know,
because
that's all I
don't
can
know
say.
either, you know.
Well, I think Dave and I didn't mean to pound away with you, and I wasn't trying to.
Oh, no,
but-
no, you're good.
But they're very much tied in with everybody who's in the know in New Hampshire. And the organization they're talking about is FBI Infraguard. And FBI Infraguard is one of the key organizations dealing with cybersecurity in the state. They know the characters, and that says a lot to me, that they've reached out to be part of that. I also like the way they answered, and I know taking the time with Steve that they did, not that Steve and I have talked formally about this, but you can speak for yourself.
When they came in, actually Cassandra's the one that came in, and she took her time, she went to every one of our units and looked at them. She took pictures, she looked at everything. And any questions, she was more than willing to help in any way, just to answer every question we had. So I feel pretty strong the way they're going. I like so far, I like the way they're doing things.
And you don't let anybody in the police department that doesn't have the national certification, correct me if I'm wrong, you're the chief.
You have to,
Yeah.
Yeah, and to that point, that was one of the things that was really nice that they responded with without a whole ton of prompting.
Right.
Was, yeah, we make sure that everybody's got CJIS certifications and such. When we're dealing with that being a little bit newer before. It was, yeah, we can make sure that happens. It was kind of what we heard from most of the different companies. And them saying, oh yeah, we have the certifications, we push forward, we only give the people that have certifications contact, et cetera. That was really good to hear.
Yeah, I mean, I personally witnessed, and I haven't hooked up with the other company. I'm not gonna get into that, but as soon as they come on board, I will, you know what I'm saying?
Well, that's not to say, I mean, our current company has some very, has helped us out quite a bit. I think, but I do think there are things that we have to think about on the go forward. And I think that as time goes on, we need more of that, we need more of that assistance. And I like the communication part of it, because that I think is lacking. I also am concerned that I don't really know if we had a major disaster, how long it would take to restore our and get working again. I don't think we know that, and we've asked for that.
The people they're talking about have been involved in some of the most major issues in the state. Dave knows what that, and your fear of that, I completely get it, but with them and their connections, I think we're in great shape if we hire them.
Yeah, I was impressed.
I know, I agree with what you said.
Yeah.
I think the two of you did a nice job putting this together too. I think that's a lot of
Yes.
work doing that, and I'm just saying.
Well, Russ really
Well,
did most of the work.
it's team effort, right?
I'm great at delegating.
And
What was
Steve's
the price
participation too, I mean, he was,
I think that's something that I need to analyze a little more,
Okay.
because the pricing that we have now is somewhat hodgepodge, and I have to put it together.
Gotcha.
Obviously, this is more money,
Yeah, right, but, just
you know,
not saying that it's even, that like you,
this
way
is.
over. That's just nothing that comes to Marlo's head, cause I'm just
well, I'm a
dumb.
baby,
But
I'm a
it's
baby
good
boomer,
because,
you know, I mean,
but
I'm
it's
a-
good because you've seen it, you've witnessed it. It's nothing like witnessing certain things, then you realize, oh, should've known that.
Well, and regarding costs, one of the, just overall and in general, one of the things that moved us towards the current IT folks is that we had some frustrations in dealing with the previous company. Not a ton, they're good and they're professional, but a couple frustrations. And that started looking, and then we got quotes, including from the current IT company, that were way cheaper. And we were able to go with the cheaper ones because it provided all of the check boxes and the marks. But we've now increased the kinds of requests and the kinds of needs that we have since then. And with, for example, the old IT company and here, most of those are inclusive in contracts. Whereas with the current IT company, it's really cheap per seat that they're managing, but everything else has an add-on cost. And so, in the end, this probably is gonna be more expensive. It's probably not gonna be drastically more expensive.
Yeah, well, I think that's all you.
And let me clarify myself, it kinda came out wrong and I wasn't intentionally doing that. I don't want them buying us computers, but they have the expertise to get into a lot of those contracts and help you. There's no reason why anybody that needs a computer in this community, if we can do that on grant contracts, and I don't see the current company being able to do that for you, but I bet you they can put you in track to a lot of things. Just saying.
Right, I would agree.
Anything further on this topic that the board or administration would like to cover, or a last comment from anybody? All right.
I'm excited to call some references.
So we will move forward with references and talk about this again at our next meeting. And so that moves us on to our third
And I'm pretty
appointment,
sure they probably gave you
which is with Verizon.
And I don't think the Verizon representative has come. So,
So in that vein, then,
I guess they still can't get out from their porch.
we, they have.
They did contact us with an update.
I'm being
Yeah.
facetious.
I was going to just
Apologize.
find and
right.
read their correspondence. I'm trying to scroll to it.
Thank you for attempting to get them here.
It's been the journey.
Here we go. So from Jeff at Verizon, reaching out to share some network updates. The new tower on Pearson Hill Road is now on the air with 5G C-band, and LTE coverage should be a couple miles in each direction, taking terrain into account. We're still working on C-band in the area, and the Webster site 5G and additional LTE capacity just north of the Hopkinton Fairgrounds should be on the air shortly as well. I will state that some related services of other carriers that are not Verizon, but somewhat related, I have now seen LTE showing up in random places down near my house that I have never seen before. So it is working, and it's not only 5G in the newest phones.
Well, it has improved greatly. I think we've all seen that. I don't know if Steve's had an opportunity
Really?
to check around with,
We don't have Verizon anymore, so
I'm thinking,
I mean, I haven't heard any complaints yet, and used
Yeah.
to hear them all the time, because a lot of people would call and say, I got Verizon, I can't even hear you.
I did call out from the school over here, just happened to be there, and not out inside, but outside, and it worked, so. I think
It's kind of better through here, is what you're
Yep,
saying,
yep,
yeah.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
before you didn't have anything. So
Yeah.
now
Right.
it's- Yeah.
There's
Well,
nothing.
I might have put you a soda.
Well, some of us have different.
Well, I know, but it's so weird, it's so weird which different ones, I don't know, I don't get it.
The various ones associated with T-Mobile, for example, they're not tied to Verizon in any way, but with the standard roaming type stuff between carriers, LTE will show up on T-Mobile based units and stuff, so. There's definitely a lot more signal throughout Webster now, especially in places that traditionally have never had any. So.
Cool.
And they say that's gonna get even better because they're doing more down by the fairgrounds, so. All right, without anybody here, we'll just move on to our last appointment, which is department heads, so come on down, say what you would like.
I'd
We're
like
gonna
to-
go ahead and start with.
Yeah, if we could start with Therese, I'd
Therese.
appreciate that. Step right up, Therese.
Yeah, what do you want?
Don't
No,
be
just kidding.
shy. Well, as you may have heard, we have this big project going on, putting in a bridge. And we had originally talked about that we would not have to go after any sort of funding for this, any sort of borrowing for this. And that is still true, although it's taking longer to be reimbursed than we would like. And I guess I can understand it because every screw, every widget, everything that is in the bills that we're receiving are verified and checked by people. And if there's any sort of problems, that holds it up. And we haven't had really problems, but it does take a while. We were very low in our cash flow. And we also know that to set up with the bank a line of credit, which is what I would like to do, and the bank has said they would, which would be to, if we were at a point that we needed to draw money to pay bills or pay the payroll, and we haven't been there so far, but we were lucky we had some balance in our account to work with, that Therese could just simply contact the bank and tell them what she needed. We're thinking of a draw with a limit of $1 million, and if she needed 200,000, she would ask for that. When the refund came in from the government, she would pay it back. The rate is 5% on that money. the good part is that it's not a loan per se. In other words, we wouldn't have to have a lump sum loan. It would be kind of
It's
a
grant
working thing.
anticipation.
For example, and Therese asked me today, how long it had taken to get refunded. Well, I had put in an application for some bills on June 16th, and we just got it June 19th, I guess.
19th, yes, 19th.
And we just got it we got
Friday.
Friday, Thursday and Friday, I think we
yeah.
got it.
So it's about a 2-month lag instead of.
So it was,
78
so it was like
78
78 days, that,
Yeah.
And during that time period, 2 checks hit the account, and this is just timing. 2 checks, one for the school district and one for the bridge. Just 2 checks was $1.2 million. So, I was really concerned about how low the cash flow was. We were at a point that maybe we should hold, because we had a manifest waiting to go out. We were lucky that we got the reimbursement that day, otherwise we would have had to hold checks. And that holds other people not being able to pay their own bills.
So
And
I
their
signed the check
payrolls.
for $443,000, and my 2 colleagues here made the comment, where's the money going? If you get into a bond, and I'm just asking the question because you mentioned it, where would you recommend, if we had needed to hold money, I'm sure you and Dana have had that discussion, where would you recommend to us where we hold money if we have to as we move on down the road? 78 days is an awfully long time, you know, that's
And
typical federal.
and it is federal money.
Yeah.
So that's just something to think about. It's federal money, and so I'm sure the state is waiting on the feds before.
What is the total, do you have like a total cost to get this, credit line?
Well-
Meaning the 5%, I mean, it's not gonna be from that many days per
Right,
se,
and
so
it's
that's
not
not
gonna
gonna
be-
add up to much
And
at all?
we're not actually borrowing the money because we anticipate the grant money coming
Right,
in.
and they have, that's what they'll have as like collateral or whatever.
Right.
Yeah,
Right, so if we do the million, because just 2 checks,
Right.
just
No,
wipes
I
us
can
right
hear you.
down there, so, and the bank is willing to, is,
there
they
will
do
be
this.
legal work on the banks,
Right.
part of it.
yeah, did they have any estimated costs? Oh,
I
cause
think
otherwise it sounds like a no-brainer to me,
It's
but
it's gonna
I
be,
just
I
was
would,
just,
I would estimate, and I don't
curious.
have an exact figure, but I'd estimate $200 for that.
We talking Franklin Savings?
Yes.
so we're talking
Yeah.
overall, maybe cost to do
And-
this, maybe
and
under a couple
one of our main
grand.
goals, I would love not to have to borrow money, because I hate borrowing money.
Well, this is
but-
kinda like so you can sleep,
But,
if you're asking me.
but it takes a while to set this up.
Right,
And I don't wanna get into the corner, and maybe I've let it go too long anyway, but I don't wanna
Well,
get into
you're-
the corner of not having any money, because I was talking to Wendy about holding some checks.
Yes.
you had a little
And I don't
scary.
like to do that, you know, that's not what we're
But
about.
I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, once you get this set up, under a couple $1,000s?
Oh, yes.
How,
And that money, we're not gonna use, I mean.
No, and I get how it all works,
And
I'm just thinking, of course, then my brain's going, how's the bank make money? Cause 5% seems cheap.
Yeah.
And,
so let me ask a couple other questions, because with some other organizations, I've been dealing with similar cash flow issues, where we know it's there, it's just not there right now. When, I know that if it's a few days or whatever, we've often had grace from the school system. So if it's a couple days, then we know that it's already on the way, but it hasn't gotten here yet. They're usually somewhat okay with us doing that sort of method. But that's occasionally for a day or two. One thing that, before just saying go ahead and do it with the bank, a question would be, would any of that funding, or would any of that expense be covered by the grant, or is that just, we have to find a line item to cover that expense? And the second would be, oftentimes vendors, for example, the bridge construction company, will have similar sorts of, well, it's fine, but if you're delaying payment by X amount of time or whatever, there's a percentage or a fee or something added on to it. That may be another way to look at it that doesn't require additional accounts, additional agreements and legal work. And since it's coming from the construction company, it may actually be something that can be included in the repayments. So I would encourage looking at that before definitely going to the bank.
So what you're asking is that when they get a bill from the bridge company, to say to them, hey, we're still waiting for our payment, so can you wait an extra week or two? Is that what you're saying?
So
And then,
I'm making an assumption that if we actually need this, a week is not enough. But when you're looking at a 5%, oftentimes a large firm that's offering services will say something like, well, we expect payment when it's due, but if you don't, there's, a 1 through 5% penalty on it for the payment. And that may be another option, to do the same thing with the same or maybe a better rate. It might be worse, but we should at least look at it and see how it pencils out in comparison.
I haven't spoken with our vendor on that, so I don't know, but I do know that they're very anxious to be paid, and they're a great company. We've had very good luck with them.
Right.
I understand they're a smaller company, and they also have the same issues that we all do. They need to be paid. And so I haven't asked about that, but I will. As far as the
You
question.
wanna call him right now?
No, I'll take care of it. As far as the question, as far as would the grant cover the costs or the interest? And I would say no on that one. They would not.
But the interest is only about $2,000, is that what I'm hearing?
If we.
I was just making like the worst case.
Yeah.
That's,
Of-
Yeah.
maybe not even
Scenario.
$2,000, yeah.
So, I mean, I guess,
I don't
I was
even know how I
hoping
put
that
that
the
number.
board tonight would allow us to start the process, because it does take a little time.
Did they say how long they thought it would take?
Oh, probably a week.
Oh,
I mean,
no,
I
that's
have-
not
I have
bad.
paperwork
I was
that
thinking
I-
a month.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we're not at the point now. I think we could do another bill, right now. I am expecting, I have 2 more requests out to the government for a total of 350,000 or something like that with the 2 that I have out. I have 151 and I have
284.
260 or something,
I think it's 284.
284.
So it's 436,
Okay.
yeah.
So we paid for close to 2/3 of the project.
That's,
What percentage have we gotten back so far? Or
let me
dollars
check my
or something?
colorful records. And I haven't done it in percentage, but I'm estimating that we still are expecting to be billed $1.2 million. That's what's left. We've been billed a total, and this includes the preliminary engineering that was paid, much of that was paid out of the trust funds. $2,551,545 is what we've paid so far. So I think we're probably going to,
And how much have we gotten back so far?
we have gotten back 946,956.
So we've paid close to 2/3, we've gotten back close to 1/3.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Just because I know that it sits in our budget and we never use it, we have a line for TANs, which is different than grant anticipation notices.
Tax
Are
anticipation.
is there a difference in rates going one way or another? Because we can pay it and then get it back either way. Is there a different machination there that causes other?
Well, I'm going, first of
paperwork?
all, I'm going under the tax anticipation note
Okay,
theory. because that is what the town has approved, in the past. Because if you were to think about it, yes, it all depends on taxes. Now I've lost track of where I was, but, you asked.
So she said that it was a grant anticipation note through the bank, and I was wondering if that versus a tax anticipation note, if there might be different rates, or if there's a different process we need to follow.
I don't think there's a difference.
I don't think so
Yeah,
either.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm-
So can I offer a
Sorry.
thought?
It's just, I just being the treasurer, I was concerned for our fluidity.
Well, I was concerned before we,
Yeah,
It's taking a long time.
You voiced
I
concerns
had-
before
I
we
had-
even got
and
started.
I always am concerned about cash flow. Well, and I don't have to be, but when you get down, that you have only $500,000,
Yeah,
it goes pretty quickly when you're paying the school $344,000.
yeah.
And the school, I have in the past been able to stretch that out. They have a new business person, who is very good, by the way, from so far. They need money.
How have you been at trying to get them to a meeting? I know you were gonna request.
I haven't asked him yet, but
Okay.
I was able to have him explain to me, and I think I would like him to come to the meeting to explain to you of how they calculate our portion of the school tax,
Perfect.
because he was able to explain it to me, and I've asked many people
And it
there.
made sense?
It did,
Whoa, that's pretty impressive.
it did. I almost ran over to get a job, because now I know.
So can I offer a thought on something? I'm hearing what David said, and I think it makes sense. But I guess I appreciate, I'm sure that everybody else does here, you bringing this forward to us. I would also offer that you get this in a locked and cocked position, so if things don't work out, you're gonna do your conversations with the construction
Right.
company and Emmett's contacts or whatever you deal with there, and then you're gonna talk to the school, get all those things in line, and ask if the construction company will give us a little leeway, since we paid, what, 2/3 of it, right? And I
They
think those are
might,
good
I
points,
just-
but I think we should have the money, not get it yet, but have the money ready to go, because that's what the two of you are recommending, and that's a reasonable, sound recommendation, that's what we pay it for, so I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
Do we need a motion for this?
You do need a motion, and I have a business application which I would appreciate the chair could sign.
Okay.
And I have spoken to the bank about this, some of these questions are not applicable to a municipality.
So might I suggest that, and please feel free to correct me, either of you, that it would make sense that our motion be contingent upon not having a better agreement presented by, for example, the construction company.
I think that would be fine with
Sure.
us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we certainly can, if contingent upon,
Right,
yeah.
okay. Any comment from the public or our other department heads?
In my opinion, I've been here 8 years. This town is one of the only towns I've ever seen that doesn't owe any money. I've never worked for a town that doesn't owe money and is knee-deep in TANs. I think it'd be a better idea to go to the bank. We don't want a reputation of they can't pay their bills or they're holding us off. And those people are hurt as much as everybody else. And for what little bit the bank's gonna charge us, I think just for the reputation alone, it's worth that little bit of money.
I mean, it's a no-fault situation, and it's a typical federal government, wheels stuck in the mud doing nothing. Excuse my being so blunt, but, this money should be coming to us. And,
I will say with the bank, I think they're giving us a sweetheart deal. We do have a very good account with the bank, and they value that, and I appreciate that.
Franklin Savings Bank's been always
Yeah.
good.
How you dealing with John?
We're dealing with Heather Capriccio, is that her name?
Caprero.
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 Yeah, they're all good folks.
They are, they're very helpful.
Yeah.
With that.
So we basically will probably pay a couple $100 towards legal and fees with the bank in order to set it up, and then whatever is needed for
Maybe
percentage
we won't pay anymore.
afterwards.
Yeah,
Maybe
we may
never
not.
have
If
to do
needed.
it.
It's,
Well, and I'm not even saying that even what your suggestion was, I'm not saying, we all sit there sometimes and wait for our money, but I think that, so they don't have those panic attacks.
Right.
Well, that would be me, in the middle of the night, and then know you have it, I mean, maybe you could say to the bridge, hey, it might be, but it's there.
yes, and we know it's coming. We
yeah.
know so
Well, you've both done your
hopefully-
research, which is very good.
Yeah.
Well, I think, and the thing is, they would instantly transfer it to the bank, to a checking account. So I have this, Dave, if you could sign this, and I would have your firstborn in your home.
Oh, God, I got 4.
I
want me
would
to switch?
definitely say that if we're going to do this, that we should have a motion first. And again, I would personally suggest that that would be contingent upon asking what the deal would be from the bridge company, which may just say, sorry, we can't do that, and that's
I'll
fine.
be glad to ask that question.
But that would be my suggestion, if somebody would like to make the motion.
Why can't they just take what you just said, and then maybe I'll say, one of us will say second that.
I guess you could say so moved, but.
So moved.
You have that, Russ?
Russ,
Don't
you got
ask
that?
Don't ask him, Dana, until after tomorrow night. We wanna get a cement poured.
So we're good,
All
we're
right, so
good.
all in favor?
But he has to pay for the cement at the end of the day.
Thank you, Teresa.
And
Oh, you're
I
welcome.
seem to
Yeah.
Thank
have
you.
mine
Yeah.
with me on-
We only need
It's
some
fancy.
sort of work on her.
Yeah.
Nice.
I hate when you dig in your bag and you can't find one in the. Thanks, Trace.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so
Thank
you've
you.
got that
I will
covered.
say, it's very nice having a treasurer that you really can work closely with.
That's what I was,
And,
just feeling that.
And she's gonna get embarrassed now, but
No, sure, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, I don't have anything else. I'm gonna go home now.
You sure?
Yep. Yes.
So, yes, you said that many of these would not necessarily apply towards a municipality, but like, these are things like having dwellings secure with the loan. What does that actually end up meaning? Because that doesn't seem like we should sign it.
we're not gonna have any dwellings securing the loan.
You can use the fire trucks.
Especially the new one.
Yeah. That's worth half of it.
I sadly don't think we have any choice. And I don't mean sadly in that anybody's done anything wrong, I mean,
So where do I actually need to, is it
There's
only
a-
the one signature that's being requested
There's
on
only
this
one
form?
being requested.
Okay, because these are,
And I apologize, I usually would have liked to have given this to you beforehand, but I didn't have it to give you. And I did speak with Heather at the bank and said, this doesn't apply perfectly to what we are.
okay. Rather than take up more time with me reading this right this second, I will continue that with you once we're
That was
done.
perfect, yeah, thank you.
So I will set this here for the moment.
Oops.
Um, The,
Get some money.
I know that, for example, we were just paying Hopkinton for the transfer station, and we have parts of that in our budget. But I know that we also have, for example, a transfer station trust fund. Are we able to reimburse a portion out of the budget from the trust fund and provide us, 50, I think it's about 50 or so, maybe I'm wrong, but however much that is in additional cash flow.
So you're saying with the bill that we had, that we recently
Yeah.
paid?
Because
could
I know
could
normally
take
we
it
would
out of
only use the trust
funds?
fund for, like, the capital expenses that are over there. But
If the board wanted to do that, you could do that.
do you think that's something that makes sense, or are we not at that level?
I don't think you're at that level.
Okay.
I don't think at the end of the day it would make a huge difference.
Okay.
And someday, you're gonna need that money that's in the trust fund.
Oh, right. I would totally and completely assume that we would be repaying it back from the portion of the budget that we didn't use at the next town meeting, but,
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
okay. So that moves us on to our next department heads. Take it away, gentlemen.
He's busy. Police department. So as of the 28th of last month, we've spent $216,711.35 of our budget. We have 38.71% remaining, which is plenty to get us through the end of the year with extras. Calls for service, from the 1st to the 31st, we had 110 motor vehicle stops with fines totaling of $620. We had 4 arrests, total with 6 charges filed. Out of the 4 arrests, 3 were motor vehicle, 1 was criminal. 71 calls for service, and it's the typical ones. Civil matters that don't require us to do anything other than give them the information that they need to process civilly. That's the department information received from other departments and from state, local, other offices. Mental health concerns, we had 2 of those. Motor vehicle complaints, motor vehicle accidents, OHRV complaints that ended up with a few summonses, pistol permits, residential burglary alarms, we've had a few of those. Turned out to be no burglaries. Road hazards, suspicious activities, sex offender registration, suspicious persons reported. That was one of the arrests. Suspicious vehicles reported, not ours. Welfare checks, citizens that wouldn't answer the phones for relatives, so we go knock on the door to make sure they're okay. We had, right in here, citizens assist, flat tire, and a few other things. Assist to the fire department and EMS, assist to other agencies, animal complaints, lost property, disturbances, theft by deception over the phone, criminal mischief, DWIs, and endangering the welfare of a child, and a protective custody. We have conducted, most of the officers are ready with their new weapons on board. We still have 2 that need to be, and that'll be done next week. Traffic's been busy, a lot of traffic, because we had the fair traffic, that was a ton of traffic over the weekend. And
And Phil worked all weekend, I checked
worked.
on him, and he
Yep.
stopped at the farm, and he was out and about
He was busy.
all weekend.
we had more officers out on patrol now day and night, which is really helping. That's how we end up with so many more vehicle stops. So it's paying off, it really is. I'm glad we finally get some people on board.
I think your cooperation, your initiative with Concord Hospital and the other related departments this weekend, I will tell you, putting that big sign, that 20 by 30 sign, and people saw that, it slowed cars down. I spoke to the woman at the intersection, by our house, and she was very pleased with that, because it did slow people down.
I think so too. Yeah, we've noticed that. A lot more motor vehicle stops with slower speeds. That means less tickets, but that's okay. I'd rather have them,
Your visibility's gone up.
yeah, most of them are, 8 to 10, 12 miles an hour over instead of the 25 to 30 miles an hour over, which we had 2 summonses for 25 over.
How's your progress going on our mutually shared speed sign? In the towns?
We have technicians that gotta come out and look at it, because there's a problem with the motherboard with it. So
Can we get that done?
we're trying to get that done now. It's an older machinery,
So we might not be able to fix it.
so Bosquen kinda like backed out of it, because they have all the new little signs, they don't wanna use the ones they have to tow around. So it's gonna be more us than anybody, which will help us when we get it finished, and okay, because we'll use it all the time now.
How are they getting those signs, grants?
They'll get those from grants.
Is there any way we
Right.
can help you with those grants?
It's a 50/50 grant. Each one of those little signs is $4,000. And it's small.
You do the trick though.
They do, they get you to notice your speed. if we can get a grant to fit half of it, I mean, they got 4 of them, so that's still, I mean, they pay $2,000 a piece for them.
I would be supportive of 2 on Route 127. As you enter town, and either end.
I'd rather put the speed sign on 127 and those on the more
Whatever
rural
you
roads, because
feel.
we can attach them to a pole.
But I would definitely be supportive, and I'd like to see that
Okay.
proceed. But I don't know how my colleagues feel.
Well,
Speed's a problem.
I see
Can't
just
hurt
as
to look
many
into
people
grants.
see them and floor it to make the number go
Well,
up.
yeah, but you know, when you sit back and say it doesn't happen, we don't do it. And if we continue to do that, we don't do it. And, you know, that's kicking the can again, and I think we need to be proactive, support proactiveness. You're right, there are people, you know, there's 10% of the public, 5% are gonna get educated in that group, and the other 5% are gonna hit a tree. And that's pretty much the way it is.
Is there any, since Bosco's basically backing out on the joint owned sign, is there any possibility that if they are not wanting to do that, that they would sign over that sign to us, since we would then be covering the maintenance for
I'm sure they would. We're gonna have that conversation anyway about the cost for the maintenance. And they haven't asked to use it at all this year, not once, and usually it's like 50-50, but they haven't asked to use it.
Because to me, that would seem like yeah, we have to put money into it, but then we have one we can put where we want.
It's
and-
ours.
And it's ours.
And we're the ones that take care of it anyway. We're the ones that store it, we're the ones that move it.
Well, I appreciate you looking at
We're
it.
the ones that do all the repair on it also.
And I think, you know, I'm gonna stand fast on giving you support to get a grant,
Okay.
and, you know, the way my colleagues are, you know, I would like the support, but, I think, you know, every other town you go, even Warner, Bradford, everybody has an electronic sign.
They all got them.
And, you know, if we can work with you, that would be a positive.
Sounds good, I'll do that.
Steve, how did the agreement start with Boscoin? Did they pay half of the sign, or?
Actually, it was Wascon and Warner. So it's us, Wascon and Warner,
Oh,
the 3
three
towns
towns.
that went in and purchased it long before my days.
Uh-huh.
Warner has never asked to use it, not once.
Oh,
In
really?
the last 8 years anyway, they've
Yeah.
never asked once to use it. Bosquen, a couple of times a year they use it. We're basically the only ones that ever used it.
Oh,
So, I mean,
Interesting.
if we can,
Where do you get it fixed?
we have to call a company out of Massachusetts to come up and repair it on site.
And what's exactly wrong with it?
We don't know, something wrong with the motherboard, so it won't charge to keep it running.
So right now, it's just power that you're having a problem
It's
with.
power
Everything
to
else
keep it
works
running.
once it's charged.
Yeah, if I could plug it in, I mean, I could.
Run
plug
off
it.
solar, correct?
Yeah,
Charges, it's got them big batteries in the
Yep.
bottom of
yep.
the wagon.
Well, we'll never know until somebody looks at
Yeah.
it, so.
Do we
I
know
agree.
when the last
Just-
time the batteries were replaced?
It's not a battery issue, because we can put charges on the batteries and it will run for a short time. It's not, and the batteries show that they're charged, but the motherboard isn't picking up.
It's
to-
that it doesn't
to
keep
read
charging
anything.
them. Oh, so even with them charged, it doesn't run?
No, it won't run.
Okay. Okay, so it's not the act of getting power into it, it's.
And Dave, I don't mean to be so blunt, it's just that, you know, there's an issue around it, with the country. The state is, you know, they're picking people up, you know, you read the news like I do, I'm getting deep into it. But
Yeah.
in Webster, I can be supportive of any tool you can use. You know, it's, you know what I'm saying? It's-
I do.
Speaking of things that have been around, you mentioned suspicious persons and suspicious vehicles. I just happen to have seen several of the threads mentioning that through Pillsbury Lake on Facebook. Does this happen to be one of those?
That's where it was.
Okay,
Right, that's the one I sent you the pictures of.
Yep.
all right.
We had a vehicle that's been going around.
Because I know some people said that they were gonna contact you, I wanted to see if they
He
actually did. So-
Actually, Emmett sent us pictures, he got pictures of it.
Okay,
It's a white box van was one of them, and a small black car was the other one, or dark.
Maroon, it was the
Maroon.
same car. I got
Um,
pictures here, right here,
Mhm.
here.
What do they do?
oh, yeah,
They've been, they were stopping asking questions about people having repair work done.
Putting gutters up, there's.
Oh, that's the same thing that's happening in
There's the
Salisbury.
white.
Oh, yeah,
Right there,
that's a
that's
Salisbury
same-
guy.
yes.
Yeah, well, he
Same,
was in
yeah.
Webster too.
No, I believe you.
And here's him in his car.
Did you get a chance to, well, you could,
Oh, yeah, no, I gave it to
oh, yeah,
Phil the
did you
next
find out who it
morning.
was?
Yeah, they did.
We got a name, but we haven't
Nice.
been able to get a hold of him yet. We've been to his house, but the vehicle's never there, so we wonder if he's even really living there.
See, I don't get paid being off duty.
That's right.
Well, it's nice,
But we
that's,
will still get you, because you're good.
no, that's great, you got the information, it's a classic example of what, you know, it's good.
Yeah. Yeah, we know who it is.
It was
but
a
we
Sunday
just gotta- we gotta
afternoon,
find the
he was-
vehicle. And we get,
Down on Pleasant Street and knocking on, weren't knocking on doors, if somebody was standing outside, he'd stop and ask them about needing work done and,
Well, you went into a couple home driveways, you probably know this because you're contacts, but he went into a couple driveways up in Salisbury, and somebody approached him, said maybe it's not the place to be driving into private driveways without an invite, if you know what I'm saying. There are other words.
and especially with no signs on his vehicle saying
Point, no,
what
I
he
totally
does.
agree, but it's great he got the, you know what I'm saying, that's the type, you know, I like that,
That's what we need.
I like that.
Yep.
I guess that covers the report.
No.
A somewhat,
Yeah, go ahead.
a somewhat related question would be, I know that we've been working on the traffic safety committee. The committee. How is that going?
We have got to get a meeting together. That's the only way we haven't had a chance to get
yeah,
together.
Phil went down the other day and got signed in, I think we're all signed in now.
All signed in with them, so we can set a meeting up anytime now.
Good, good.
You're going to, I saw an email, regarding Clothespin Road.
Yeah, I just got a correspondence today right before the meeting.
Well, the one I was thinking was from a resident down there who was interested in attending a meeting, if there was one, regarding speed, Maryland.
Oh, okay.
And
I don't know if I
so,
saw that one.
I'll
but I have-
mention that to
I have
Steve,
mentioned
yeah.
it to her a couple times that they would have a meeting, so.
okay, I just wanted to make sure I hadn't missed something.
Right.
Good.
Well, we're on that subject, and it's next on the list, really, public safety sign policy. I'll have one for you at the next meeting. We've been looking at other departments that have them, nobody's got a policy. Even Merrimack County doesn't have a policy. Other than the fact
Phil
that-
and I were working on some
Yep.
stuff.
Other than the fact that Merrimack County's got what it says, the sign has to be lit up so many days, and it's more when it's up and how it's, but nothing to do with how it's maintained, who maintains it or anything, it's just, because the county maintains it, that's it.
You mean your notifications?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right, well, Phil does all the stuff, you and
Yep.
I tell him what we need, and then if he sees that the church is putting a dinner on,
Well, we get it from either
Yeah.
Dana or from Russ.
and,
Well, that's not unusual, we are leading Merrimack County as always.
Absolutely, we're ahead of them.
But can, the company that does it, I know it's managed through basically a cloud service.
Yes.
We should contact them and ask if there's like a widget that we can put on the website, so that anything that's on the sign will automatically show up in a, like a banner area on our website.
That's a great idea. I can talk to them, because I have to call them anyway. If you notice the sign comes from the police station this way, you'll see one square that's lit up differently than the rest of them, so it's gotta be a bad, and they're all replaceable squares, you just
Right.
pull out a square and replace it. I gotta have them either send us one so that we can do it, or have them come up and replace it.
All right. Let's go ahead and move on to the other department heads then.
so I guess we'll go with the roads first. We've been working down on Detour Road, getting that in shape. And the rest of the dirt roads do need to be graded, just gotta find some time to do it now. We got a 1/4 inch of rain out of them 2 little storms, Friday night and Saturday night, so it really wasn't enough to moisten up the, you grade them up, they're gonna be loose.
It came down quick and disappeared.
Yeah. So, other than that, on roads, I don't have a whole lot, cause that's where we've been down there.
I think I might have asked this last time, but at the corner there of Pleasant and Detour, how far up the traditionally or existing dirt road as opposed to just up the previously paved portion? Are you expecting to open up or use the intersection and or pave that when it comes time to it?
I probably will pave back to the mailboxes on the backside of Walker Pond, the driveway to go down in there, private road.
And up the hill on Pleasant towards Dingett, are you doing anything in that direction for drainage and stuff as well? Or,
Not on Pleasant Street, just from the top of the hill where we ripped the tire off to make it all blend in around the corner onto Detour.
okay, so you're not gonna be using pavement and base to adjust the way that it drains, because it was kind of collected up against the pavement and made it all muddy there as you came off onto the first section of Pleasant that was dirt before.
No, I don't think it was, it's just where any tar starts to dirt, where the tires get spun, there's always potholes. It's almost, I mean, that's, when we did Franklin Pierce last year, I went out a little bit 50 feet onto Manchester, which it gives it a little extra goofball, but so when they go to start off, it doesn't spin up as bad. So probably, like, yeah, when you come around that corner and then you head straight towards Dingett's corner, probably just back to the mailboxes.
Okay.
So when you go to plow, you're not digging into the,
Well, I just know that's often also been like the spot where all the mud collects too, when it rains in the muddy season and stuff. That's
well, that's gonna have a new
those
pipe,
spots.
that's gonna have a new pipe coming out of that V that we cleared.
Okay,
And then sitting at the mailboxes, looking towards town, there's a pipe that comes across, and then the telephone pole over there, there's another pipe that comes across. They're all gonna be all replaced in, all new.
okay, so the mud issue should be resolved for the most part from that then.
Should hope so.
Do you have anything
Because
else?
we got the headers in the catch basins and all the pipes, so that will be coming out of the bridge and culvert money, so,
I suppose I better fund it.
yeah. Get that $1 million in the bank.
All right, any other questions on the roads and road work that's been happening, especially down around Detour?
Marlo needs some, coal patch over on on Winnapocket Road. I sent Emery up the other day to get a load, so I do have that at the shop.
Yeah.
That's $143 a ton now for coal patch.
Why is that so much more? I didn't know if they did something weird to it. Yeah. Yeah, no?
And the calcium barrel is empty. I got a call in, they're supposed to fill that up next time they're around in town, 3,000 gallons. It used to be, what, 99 cents a gallon, and what did we pay last year? Was it $2.60?
I thought it was like 260 something,
Something.
yeah.
Is that my calcium question I had for you last
Yeah.
meeting? Is
Yeah.
that what we're talking
Yeah.
about? So you're gonna be able to put some down, I think.
Oh, we did last week.
Okay, good. No,
We
that's
had
good.
500 gallons, and we ground Detour Road last Thursday, was it? Yeah. So we put the calcium to that, and then all the way to Roy's and back, and got the dust.
So that's fixed or whatever problem you had with it. So-
Yeah,
Okay, good.
yeah, bought a new one.
Well, thank you.
Not directly roads, but somewhat related. I know we were talking about the trees down near the pit. Where are we with that?
Emmett and I have talked about that, and we've gotta get together and go down and speak with the property owner down there. We have not done that yet.
Okay.
Yeah, just let me know when you wanna do
We
that.
will get together, yeah.
All right. Anything else, roads?
Not at this time.
Not at this
Okay.
time.
It's been a fun fire time. Especially the last couple days.
Oh, yeah, I thought we were gonna get some rain to help us out, but, so, yeah, we'll get to that. So, the new ambulance is at the station. Dana went down and got it all registered, and he worked with the town clerks and got that stuff done up, and it was a big help. Thank you for helping me with that, Dana. So now we're waiting to get it lettered. The guy that was doing our lettering had been lettering for Phil for years, retired. And, so Berube guy that used to be top notch, he retired too, so I guess from what I'm hearing, that isn't the place to go. So we found a place in Newington, and then Emery called the fire chief in Bristol that he works with in Concord, and he uses an outfit out of Franklin. So, Emery's got a call into the outfit in Franklin, cause it'd be quicker to go to Franklin than it would be to go to Newington. So, once that's lettered up, and then we'll get that in service. So, there has been no outside burning for, what, a month or better now. We went to Salisbury.
When you do see somebody outside burning, what is that considered? Meaning, I know that was like, I was a really broad question, I just meant people having their,
Yeah, they're fire pits.
yeah, or,
And Russell's had it on the town web. We've got it on Facebook at the firehouse.
Got it on the sign too.
What would you like us to do? Because I'm with Marlo, I went by
I think I
two
might
of
have saw
those.
one of our
Well,
And I was gonna call you,
firefighters
and
doing it.
I'm thinking,
Well,
what do you want us
anybody
to
with
do?
any common sense shouldn't be burning anyways,
Right.
but a lot of folks, I mean, they wanna go outside in the evening and have a beer and sit beside the fire, but what they don't realize is, $5,000 an hour for a helicopter, and if they start the fire and they have to,
So would you like us to call you and report that, or report it to Concord Fire Dispatch, or how, I mean, how, I think that's important. How would,
well, hopefully it won't go much longer. The classes were very high, and then they were high, and now I think they're down to medium, but the chance of a forest fire getting started, it's pretty easy. Yeah, you can give me a call.
okay.
The two, Anna, she's been keeping an eye on
Police department or
things
the fire department?
for me at
Okay,
night,
so,
and it's like I said, if you're out and about and somebody's burning and you wanna call, that's fine, but sometimes people just need it to be a little just a little, hey, please, there's no outside burning
Well,
at time.
I'm not asking you to run them off the jail, I just.
Yeah, no,
I
no.
think, you know what I'm saying?
I mean,
oh, and bring your fire pit with you.
I think the paddy wagon comes out.
That's right.
what was it, the Sunday of the Hopkinton Fair, I mean, the guy over on the White Plains Road, he's from Connecticut, at the Stone House over there.
He had a huge fire.
He had a huge fire going, and a fireman from Warner called, and he says, hey, I don't wanna be whatever's, but he said, if the wind blows that up through the woods.
Is this one of our residents?
Well, he's not a resident, he just is, him and his sister own the place.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, but you know what I'm trying
Yeah.
to say. He's living in town, let's put it that way.
Comes up on the weekends.
Yeah, that's it.
He needs to obey the rules.
So, no, I went over and explained it to him, he got the garden hose out, very nice guy,
Yeah.
but it was like, oh, really? Yeah. Then we went out the other night for one down in Pillsbury Lake, that the neighbors could smell plastic, and we got down there and we found the burning trash in the fire pit out back, and then the other day, we were searching for the lightning strike, and there was a fire pit in the backyard that I was in, out through the woods, and that was all full of trash. Well, that's to burn clean wood, not trash, so, So anyways, yeah, we went to Salisbury and helped them out on they didn't get their fire trucks in Old Home Day Parade because they were at the brush fire, so we took the tanker up and a handful of men and helped them with that. And then I went up the following Sunday morning and helped them. 3 of the guys went to Hennica over to Patnod Sawmill there. The other, what was that, 3 weeks ago? They had a major fire over there.
And that was literally a lightning strike too. I mean, literally, it just,
Really?
you can even see where it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was sitting right, yeah.
Oh, it sounds like you've been busy, and it sounds like you've been out there doing what you gotta do.
And then we had the lightning strike in Blackberry Lane Saturday. Saturday,
Yes, it was Saturday.
yeah.
Is that a house, or is it?
No, it was actually, I've got pictures here, it, hit a great big pine tree and 2 hemlock trees, and then 15 feet beside of that was a hemlock tree that had been broke off when the tornado came through, or the hurricane, or whatever's back years ago. And there was barbed wire running to that tree that was on fire. So, actually, I was home, just got home from work there Saturday afternoon, and Addie Mark called and he said, "Hey, Bubba," he said, "you got a fire in town?" I said, "Gee, I hope not, I'm at home." He said, "Well, you better get looking," because he could see it
Interesting.
from his
Oh,
house.
that's good.
So,
He said-
so we're up in Maine. He calls me, which is odd, but nobody was home. Our daughter was with us. One was on the seacoast. One was in Loudon. You know, and all of a sudden you do.
No,
you do
Addie
panic
said-
a little bit. You're like,
Addie said, "It's over on the call road somewhere," so the first
Yeah.
thing I did,
Oh, yeah.
I went
Oh, for
around
sure.
and I called Marlo, I said, "Hey, you home?" No.
oh god, no.
Well,
was
that's
a little
good
nerve-wracking.
communication.
The way
This
that
was
the
the tree
trees
that
are
was on
burning
fire.
from
Wow.
inside is
Yeah.
pretty awesome in pictures.
And then there was the,
That's how fast it can happen. Like what happened in
Came right down it.
I mean, that could have.
there's-
Yep.
That could have been anywhere
Yeah.
on our
Wow.
Hossy had.
And there's a house over here.
Have
Yeah.
even seen it.
No.
There was a house 100 feet from that, and the bark from the pine tree was right up against the house where it blew it over.
No,
It
that's
feels like everybody's always home, somebody's there. It's like, no, it's like nobody's.
So anyways, that's why they have the towers up, because that lightning strike out in the woods, it will take 2 or 3 or 4 days sometimes for that to burn up through, to even see it. So,
How did you end up finding it? Just
How?
Yeah, just following the.
you could smell smoke at the campground, which you usually
yeah.
can anyway. So, and then when I got to Blackberry Lane, and then Jake Martin, the young man that lives here in town, he was on the phone with Jake Drowns and
Oh,
said
yeah,
that
yeah.
he could smell it there, so I
He's
ended
kinda-
up down there, and then I went out through Blackberry Lane, and you could really smell it out back. So I stopped and talked to one of the neighbors and said, "Hey, I'm looking for the smoke, you know, that's what I'm doing in whatever's," and then the house that you can see behind Brenda's, out through the woods, I drove down that driveway and there it was, right on the left. So, Phil has done 4 background checks for us. I think 2 of them have come back, he's still waiting for 2 to come back. And then we have 2 members, that are gonna take the EMR class. And then we have a paramedic, an EMT paramedic that's gonna start a Fire 1 class. And then one of the young men that we're doing the background check on, he's already put himself through the EMT class. And then the other gentleman, he's a retired fireman from a city. I think he might even be a paramedic too, I know he's an EMT, so, we've got some people coming.
When's your next in-house meeting?
The in-house meeting will be the third, fourth Wednesday of the month.
Fourth Wednesday?
Tomorrow night, we are hosting the Central New Hampshire Forest Fire Wardens Association's meeting and dinner. Susan's cooking for 35 to 40 people, will be there for the dinner. That's at 6:30. So that's
Tomorrow or this Wednesday?
tomorrow, Tuesday, the, fire warden's dinner, the meetings are all on Tuesdays. Capital area meetings on Thursdays, and our meetings are on Wednesdays. So, medical calls, been a fair amount of them. So, 2 medical calls with the Hopkinton ambulance. $400 and something thousand they just paid for that, and they pulled into a driveway Saturday to come help us on a medical call. And they almost parked at the bottom of the driveway and walked in 200 feet, because over the years, the branches are, and so if Russell could put a thing on the thing, the new fire trucks now are $1 million. Ambulances are 400 and something, and a lot of our private roads in town, I go in and out, and there's a lot of long driveways, and there's a lot of brush that really could be cut. To help with the scratching and stuff of the vehicles. He said, I don't wanna take that home all scratched up, cause I might not have a job. So we wanna take care of our community and take care of our people, but they need to help us.
Something probably people don't even think about.
No, they don't.
And I get to say when you said it, I thought, yeah.
And when I looked back down it, I mean, you couldn't, it was just a canopy. And
Because most people around here will only think, oh, that looks nice.
yeah, they do, and it does look good, and they're in a car down here this high, and, so it's just something,
Community awareness.
yeah.
Remind-
And we got a call on 56 Cole Road, from a gentleman that's putting a group home in up there. So I came down and talked with Dana. I can talk about this without getting in trouble, right?
You won't get in trouble.
No, but I don't wanna do anything wrong.
No, it's public.
Putting the group home in. So I came down to check with Dana and Russell to see what, before we did our inspection and everything, and,
Is that gone through planning board?
it doesn't have to.
No, it doesn't go to the planning board. It's a similar situation to 50 Manchester Drive.
Is this part of the same company?
No,
No.
it's a private owned guy that's putting his
What,
house.
which home, where?
56 Cole Road.
How are
Call.
our residents responding to that?
They don't know, nobody knows
No,
about it.
I don't even know, where is that on our
It
road?
would be, Cole Road's going to your house.
I know, I said where? No, where's 56? I don't know. Where's 305?
It's gotta be, just as you start up past Forest, there's 3 or 4 houses on the right there.
Alright.
Sits up in,
Okay, with the bird guy?
What
I
kind
got-
of residents are we talking about?
It's gonna be busy with the ambulance.
he said, that's what he came out and said, you'll be seeing us a lot.
But what kind of people are going to, what's the health issues with the people in the home?
That we don't
I think
know.
we need to find out.
Now, do they have to be registered with the state or anything? though?
He has to be
He's-
registered
he
with the
is
state. He
registered
isn't
with the
yet.
state, and the state, we have not, our planning board can't make any comments. we have to allow it. It's the same thing as 50 Manchester
It's a
Drive.
HIPAA situation, is that what
I
you're
think a lot of people that live there have some sort of brain injury, maybe.
That's what Manchester Drive is.
Yeah.
So, before we did our inspection and I came to see Dana,
How many can he house there? Isn't it?
three,
just
he
us?
says it's gonna be three,
Right.
it's gonna be three, people there. Cause I just couldn't believe that it could just happen, but Dana got a hold of the attorney and,
Yeah, it's, unfortunately, that's,
so what we have
I
to do
realize
is,
people have to go somewhere, but.
we go and do our inspection to make sure everything is kosher with our end, and then after we sign off on it as the fire department, then they go to the state.
Well, you know,
I just
I,
want-
I appreciate healthcare for people, but properly situated healthcare, and this is being plonked right in the middle of a residential neighborhood. Are these people extremely?
On a dirt road.
Yeah, on a dirt road. I just, the concept is kind of confusing.
And that's why
I'm not trying to argue.
No, no, and I'm not.
I'm supporting it.
That's why I came to see Dana,
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it myself,
I
and
mean,
then,
there's something wrong with that, I just, yeah.
and that's why Dana,
Well, it must be lucrative, I guess. I mean, there must be a,
50 Manchester Drive is,
yeah.
and it's like, the guy thought, the gentleman that Jake talked to thought we had a full-time fire department and 24-hour police, and, when do they pick up the garbage, and
Well, should he be coming before the board and having a discussion about this? Is it, I mean, everything you're saying, I get it, totally.
I would almost think so,
I
but.
mean, that's where I'm going with this.
I'm sure you could invite whoever this is to come to the board.
Not that you
but-
haven't done your
but
due
they-
diligence, but,
But
yeah.
they don't have to.
I-
It's
I
a
know,
mistake.
I know. And I can talk to you more about this, cause I do have a lot of legal work on that.
well, I'm sure you did.
50 Manchester Drive. It's very high use of emergency service.
So what that involves is, it's gonna add a lot more ambulance time.
Should they be paying something to the community? Should we be putting some kind of a surcharge in there for these places? I mean,
Well, we pretty much do, if it's a false alarm, we have an ordinance in place for that.
I don't know, John, whether you can or not. but
well,
we can
and,
look into
and, you
that.
know, you've looked into this much more than, I mean, I'm familiar with.
I haven't
hearing
looked
about
in, I haven't looked into that.
Impact, we should be
so,
thinking
but
impact
we can-
fees,
we
and quite
can.
frankly, you know, I know you have, and I know you did on the, what was it, the one down at,
Well,
Drive.
yeah,
yeah.
where they've had to respond and they've had incidents, and you know what I'm saying, we just sort of let it happen, of no fault of anybody sitting here, but
Mhm.
maybe we need to start taking a little bit more attention to this thing.
I know that we've got the false alarm, or, you know, errant calling, et cetera, policy now. But I wonder if there's a way to
Amend it?
amend it to be excessive calls, or like more than a normal number of calls. So like if it's more than 3 or so in a year, whether it's valid or not, then there becomes some sort of charge for the location.
It's gonna be
We
hard
would
to
have to
balance.
try to figure out what would be considered reasonable, because we certainly don't want someone who's actually having problems to not want to call the ambulance.
Right, and then you have somebody that's lived in town their whole life, and you wanna help them at the end, and you,
Exactly.
and you're gonna be there, and you're always there, and to take care of them, but then,
But they're not making a profit on it.
right, that's right.
This company is making a profit.
Yeah.
And where I'm going with that is, if they're making a profit, I'm hearing Dave, and I'm trying to think through it legally without sounding like an oligarch here about healthcare, because that's not what I am. But, you know, we've got a small town here, we've got people who are taxpayers. They pay for those privileges that you are talking about, but they didn't expect the business to move, and we're gonna be responding 20 times a week. That's
So-
excessive.
Agreed, kinda when you kinda think it all through, cause again, nobody wants to be that person that says, oh, not in my neighborhood. We've all dealt with that over the years, but.
Well, there are neighborhoods where it shouldn't be in my neighborhood.
Okay,
You know,
fair
I'm
enough.
not arguing with you.
No, fair enough,
Yeah, yep.
but you presented as a sense that it's a money-making situation. So, it says to me that, and what I'm sitting here kind of listening about this, seems like, there's one thing about Manchester Drive is that was a big farm and, that seems a little bit less, it still should be without being noticed and figured out that this town needs to probably put something together, because I'm a little bit concerned that, hey, come to Webster. Hey, come to Webster. Well, and it's happened all over Webster. So what my point is should there be presented something that we do some kind of rule changing or whatever? Not that we don't have a lot of rules right now, but that may be one that you say, if you are doing it as a business,
I was gonna say,
My words, yep.
yeah, I like that very much, because you don't feel like because you don't wanna discriminate, but it's a business, somebody's gonna make money, and it's gonna cost us money.
It's not like you brought Mom home or
Yeah,
Uncle George
yeah,
to take
yes,
care of them.
that's right,
There may be a way to do it with, like,
You
if
see what I'm
a
trying to say.
business is on premises.
yes,
Sort of thing.
Right.
That might be.
Because there was one of these on Clothespin Bridge Road, Corn Hill, yeah, then that went away about a year ago.
Yeah, they moved to Salisbury.
But we should definitely ask legal next
We
time
can-
we have
we
a
can look into that,
conversation,
of course,
David,
yeah.
what we can do and what are reasonable paths.
because it is kinda like any business doing anything, and usually in any town, I'm not sure, I don't hear, but you're always under scrutiny and scrutiny that things are different, it's not.
We don't wanna penalize them for doing business in town, but
No,
we don't
but-
want to make the
but-
town fund their business.
We don't want the
I will
town to
check
have
that
unusual
because-
impact fees.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I would
how do
check
they appraise a home that's more run like a business and not just a residential?
Because, you get two ends of that spectrum. You've got the resident, Emmett's talking about, the senior citizen.
Right.
Who doesn't have a family, who the fire department or police or whomever, both at the time, go down and help out. That person is impacted by the fees of this, because that business might be requiring those services 4 or 5 times a week. We're
And they
not
may
structured.
already be out to this business.
Right.
When they would need to get
Point
called to
made.
some.
We're not structured for that type of operation.
Right.
I think what Emmett is trying to say.
Well, no, we learned from 50 minutes.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's what's kinda scary when you're saying this, because you're like, first of all, I don't think anybody would look at it as, a lucrative business, but it probably.
It is.
Well.
It's a big business.
I get it, but you see what
No,
I'm
with you.
saying.
We're saying the
Yeah,
same thing.
yeah, yeah.
Sometimes we say the same thing, but we
Yeah.
don't say it the same way.
Yeah, cause didn't really.
Another thing that I have a feeling there's no way we can do, but would be another method, would be, for example, the way that we sign deals with Hopkinton for their ambulance service. Maybe there's a way that, well, if you're running a group home like this, you need to go sign a deal with somebody like Hopkinton that has a
Private
full-time,
ambulance or something.
Right.
that has a
Very
full-time
good point.
crew.
Yep.
And then the majority of the time, they're responding, they're doing it, and it's part of that contract and not.
Right,
As the
or
burden
somebody's
to-
having a heart attack,
Right.
call the ambulance and they'll come help you. But you're here taking care of 3 residents, which we call them residents. Taking care of 3, you can't leave these other 2 alone, so there's no one to drive Mary to the hospital because she's got a little bump on her arm. And that's what we run into a lot at the Austin home.
Well, there's levels of emergencies, and I think
Right.
you and I, are all of us are saying.
And
I
everybody-
think those things need to be identified exactly as you're saying it.
And everybody today thinks I'll get a ride in the ambulance, and I'll get right in, and I'll go through the ER, and I'll get into bed. But that isn't the way it works. It's-
That's a fact.
You go, get checked in, you get,
Even the poor fire chief was sitting out in the hallway. Right? I
Yeah.
mean, seriously.
sat out there 4 hours.
Well, but I
I was
think-
one of the lucky ones.
I think there's several very good points that people have made here. Dave made some good points. and what he was saying about the impact fees and how that, and the regulation, your point's well made, it's very important that you let us know, because I mean, when they're telling you, you're gonna be busy, whoa, wait a minute. We
Yeah.
have a volunteer fire department, paid for
Yeah.
by the taxpayers.
Yeah.
And Dana, I know, has done a lot of research, and I'm not undermining anything you've done.
Oh, not.
But I think discussions like this bring good things out, because none of us can think of everything. You know, I'm saying impact fees, and Dave brought up some good points, you brought, and then you continued on with some other stuff.
But
It just always makes me think of this is where rules come from, it's
it's
just
worth
not
doing
easy,
research on.
you know what I mean?
Pardon me?
I said it's worth doing research.
Yeah, no, I'm not
Right,
being
and
critical
then,
of anything.
and then
I'm
at
not.
least, you know, it's, you know, if it's not somebody having a heart attack, or you're gonna worry, you know,
Well, that's
get
what
them in your
Stewart's
car
ambulance,
and-
that's what Stewart's ambulance is for,
yeah.
you know what I mean? So, I mean, that could be part of that contract Dave is talking about, you know? I mean, I get it.
Yep.
So you wanna help people, but you gotta make a living yourself.
Get a question?
Yes.
How does a policy get initiated for something like this? Like John was saying, they go to the planning board, well, there's three of us on the planning board. We have no teeth. They could come, what do we have
Well,
to
we
accept
need-
or deny
Yeah,
this situation?
So
Where
that,
does the
that was my
policy-
question, if it had come to the planning board, and this is apparently one of those things where the state just says, you can do it, and we don't get to say anything.
Exactly, but where
But I
do
think as a
we get a
town-
policy for Webster,
Yeah.
New Hampshire that would address this? So if it did come to the board saying,
We'd have some
sorry,
teeth.
Webster does not allow this, or these
Or-
are, where does this,
these are the
how
rules.
does that policy get
Well,
developed?
I like to see, and Dana, please don't get me wrong, because I realize I go down the weeds and kick the weeds. That's what I do. And I'm gonna continue to
Kick
do
the
it.
weeds, John.
Where's the RSA that says we need to do this?
Um,
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
I've got the paperwork for 50 Manchester Drive,
Okay, okay.
and so it's a similar, and I
It came from
can,
the
I can
state.
show it to you.
Yeah, and it came from the Attorney General's office. too.
And I think, to answer maybe Dean's question,
Doesn't mean it can't
there's
be
where your
appealed.
It's a different
representative
Attorney
comes in.
General.
Yep.
I mean, because
Well, no, I think residents are gonna have those questions, and you're gonna have people that maybe don't understand it as well as our public safety people do, or we do as managers, and you know what I'm saying? And
Right.
I-
Oh,
Because
and
they're
I
gonna
have-
think
I have
that
the same
town's
question.
allowing
You know?
this.
Yeah, I have the same
They
question.
will think the town is allowing this.
Yes, yeah. and
Because
think
if I
we need
wanted
to-
to start a business
I
on
would start by
Call Road,
inviting-
I couldn't just do it.
Well, that's what's weird about this.
Well, that's why I'm saying,
You know, there's folks in Pillsbury Lake down through there that bought them homes out there to retire in and be quiet and not whatever's, and then I've worked down there all last summer, and we go on calls all the time, and you wouldn't even believe that you could buy the stuff on TV, what they holler and say and do, and it's
well,
like.
there's behaviors that are uncontrollable behaviors, and
And,
you're
and a
right.
lot of it isn't their fault, because they were in the war and got hurt, or in a motor vehicle accident, you know, a lot of it.
Brain injuries.
But you take a 75-year-old person, as you're saying, that moves up here to have peace and quiet, and no disrespect to any patient, resident, or anyone, but they observe the behaviors and it scares the hell out of them.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they're calling the police at a misunderstanding, and, I mean, I think we should invite this person in for a better understanding of what we're looking at, and have an educational discussion, and express our concerns, and then we go from there. And also, Dana, as Dave mentioned, check into some of the things that maybe we,
You know what's interesting? Why is that not a state-run thing?
who does monitor?
Well, I guess I'm just thinking,
Who certifies it, who monitors it?
That's right,
Let's ask the state, whoever from the state says, yeah, you can do this, let's ask them.
It's Health and Human Services.
Yes.
but
State
Yeah,
road
we have the
services.
gentleman's name that this gentleman's
but
working with
I
through
think
the
about, I
state.
think about right down from a nursing home, from a, in the psych wards and different things like that, but I can't believe that our state isn't more, it's not that, it just should be set up that it's not in somebody's backyard home. Because
Well,
those
it's
poor,
safety
those
issues.
poor people that don't even know what they're probably thinking, so it's already beyond their capability of, that you can't just tell them to sit down and behave, do you know what I mean? So why do we not have a better uniformed situation.
I mean, there's safety and security issues involved, you know,
It's kinda
initially.
crazy,
And,
actually.
and at least with 50 Manchester, they have the kind of large
Space.
lot and
Yeah.
space to do things correctly.
If they, yeah.
It'd be nice if they did, but at least they have the space to do it. Whereas this doesn't sound like there's enough space to do the appropriate things, because unless they're basically room bound because of whatever their injury is,
Right.
then there's no place for them to go.
I wonder how many times we're gonna be chasing them out through the woods,
All the way to Winneponket.
all the way, because they cannot
Want us to
legally
send
put a
our
fence
cows
around
out?
it. The state refuses to allow them to put a fence around it, because 50 Manchester tried to.
Or to
Can't
the
put a
back
gate
of-
up.
Well, they had,
Why?
no, they had a fence around it, and then they downgraded to another level, so then they could take the fence
See
down.
that,
But
that's
the gate has
just,
to stay open.
Or
Can't
to the
close
back
it.
of someone's home, and the reality of fact is, far be it for me to explain it to you, you get a call at someone's home and somebody's trying to bang through the sliding door, and somebody's you know the game, and I'm not gonna go any further with it, but you know, the potentialities it puts the community in, not just to speak about the concerns you two have, but the other concerns, the unplanned concerns that happen with these types of things.
you would almost think that that would be part of, to be able to do that, have it, just like,
That you'd
don't
be
take this wrong, but
required
just
to
like
fence.
childcare. If you're gonna have a childcare, you have to have certain safety things, you have to have certain fencing, you have to have certain, and this is just a little example that I think sometimes we're so worried about is protecting the patient, which is important, because back in the day, there was some stuff that probably happened we
Oh,
all don't wanna know
yeah.
about. But right down to somebody that's, coming out of, going through rehab and getting better, but, the home they're in, they can't even put sides on, cause then you'd be saying that they were, you were blocking it in. But it's okay for them to get up and fall.
Well, look at Hampstead
you know what I
Hospital,
mean?
look at the classic example out there. They're not trained in security, there are many, many issues there, they're trying to rectify that through this private purchase through Dartmouth Hitchcock, but it's not gonna be rectified overnight. And the politics, the issues, the potential, everything gets in. I'm not saying this is Hampstead Hospital, please don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying is how do we know who the staff are? How are the staff certified? Who certifies the
I
staff?
think it's just him.
Well, that's a problem.
Yeah.
From what I've got figured out, it's just the homeowner.
Well, that's, I mean,
Makes more money that way.
that's the problem. One person cannot control 3 individuals who have significant HIPAA issues of a psychological nature, or whatever nature.
Because I'm not really sure what the status of the residents are gonna be. We didn't go into details, but he probably could
But
explain that.
you got called because he needs to go out so that when he fills out his state form, he can say that the proper
He has to have
Fire
the fire department
department.
sign off.
Then that should be
on
part of a
safety-
policy, he has to
safety
meet with
issues.
us, and the chief, and the fire chief and police chief to do that.
And I
Yeah.
do think we have to be.
Cause again, that's a lot
extremely
even
careful.
on you as the fire chief for you just to
Oh, I
have to
have a
sign.
certified inspector come with
Yeah.
us to do that.
Did you sign it already?
No,
Okay, good, thank you. Yeah.
no, we've got another meeting with him a week from Tuesday.
Thank you
I
for
don't
bringing it
think
to our
you can refuse it, though.
No, not according to
No.
the state worker,
Yeah. And that's.
without getting in trouble.
Well, unless there's actual issues, but.
Right, oh, no, they have to, yeah.
They have standards, they have to.
Yeah, no, the everything has to be up to par.
But it still is a concern, I respect you get to sign it, but still is a concern, and I think we need to address it.
Well, that's why I wanted to bring it to you folks, cause if I didn't, you wouldn't know. Cause Dana don't like talking about stuff like this.
Yeah, we,
I'm not quite sure what he meant by that.
yeah, so I get, talk to legal, see if we can get the state people in to a meeting to talk about this in the process and what there is for towns to do and when or if there is opportunity for feedback to the state in the process. Because maybe some of these things exist that just we don't know about. And so
It
we should
doesn't hurt
make
to find
sure
out.
that,
Yeah.
that we know all of the things, dot the i's and cross the t's, and get legal's opinion on other ways that we can make sure that that increased service use doesn't just fall on everybody else in town.
Okay, I'm glad to do that.
I'm sorry I brought this up, put
Oh, no,
more
that's fine.
load on your shoulders.
That's fine, it's good,
No,
it's
I
good.
think it was good of
We-
you
we need
to
do it.
explain it. It's, I get the concern without any, it's obvious.
Emmett, not to interrupt you, but I've got these, your,
Warden stuff,
are you gonna talk about that?
yes, I want,
Please.
yes.
Yeah.
You said you were gonna bring that, and I think it was on the agenda, right?
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and now,
These were, you had given me these appointments for deputy forest warden.
yeah,
And I brought it to the board and I had some questions, so I thought it was a
Yeah.
good time, opportunity
Sure.
for you to answer them. And I'm sure that I didn't give them the right answers, cause I really didn't know.
well, I was playing hooky that night.
These are, yeah, well, you were trying to be sick, and that was kinda drastic, wasn't it, to get out of it? But anyway, I guess I just wanted to, what I wanted to know is, these people are theoretically actually appointed by the state. Is that correct? And it's just the select board are recommending that these people be appointed? Is that right?
Correct.
Yeah.
They're, yes, and then, well, this is supposed to be the warden's job, but I've done his job for 8 years, so.
I was just gonna say, shouldn't the fire warden be the one?
Oh, he
who's
signed
supposed
them, and I had him sign them.
Yeah, and the candidate needs to sign it too. I
Yeah,
noticed
the
that.
mayor, so that would be Dana, and then the select board,
I'm the mayor?
and then the forest ranger is Mike Madison, so he will sign that down there, and then the director will sign that, so Rob signed it where he was supposed to, and then Dana will sign it the next line.
I think that's probably me, because we don't have a town manager, we have a town administrator, and that's
So-
chairperson, so it's probably the
Yeah,
three
yeah,
select
you're
board
right.
members.
Probably, yeah,
Sure.
I would guess.
You recommend these people, right?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
they're officers, they're
Yep, yep,
captains
that's
on
fine,
the
now I know.
department,
Okay.
and,
Yeah,
so,
I'm just gonna sign the second.
yeah, one's Emery,
Yep.
and the other one's Big Matt.
Yeah, we're fairly familiar with these people,
Yeah.
so.
And I
Just-
think they
just
need
the
to
two,
sign
right?
something on that, Emmett, maybe the second page of that, what you've got in your
Okay,
hand.
let me look. Oh, right here, selectman, the director, chairman, mayor.
Yeah, so the same thing.
Yeah.
So you get CQ or?
And then, no, I'll take them, well.
It's gonna go to Emmett, yeah.
Because when we have our wardens meeting tomorrow night at the thing, I'll give them to the
Okay, this is
ranger.
the-
Officially anointed.
Emmett,
Officially anointed.
Do we
Would
need
you
a
also
motion
see
to
if
do
you
that
could
as well,
maybe,
or no?
paperwork for the people that were trying to put the insurance
I
on?
got Matt Mallon and the other young man, I'll see Carrie tomorrow night, we'll
Perfect.
have all three of them.
Okay, and then I'll
Matt,
send
You
it
got
in.
it.
yeah, Matt did his Saturday
Perfect, okay.
after the fire call, and the other young man did his Wednesday night at the fire.
Okay.
Ian, right?
Ian, I don't wanna nag you, but I
Yeah,
just.
no, you have to.
Yeah.
And where are we at with the town of Hopkinton with the contract? Did you ever get to talk to anybody at the town hall?
We're gonna be
Is that all you
talking
need?
about
One
that, as a
sentence?
matter of fact.
Okay.
All you need?
Thank you.
Dana, do we need a motion for this as well, or just the
I
signatures?
don't,
I think just the signatures.
Yeah, you can give them to Emmett,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, look at you, you're all paperworked up for tomorrow, now you're good.
What do you need?
Oh,
No,
I
you're
gave it to you.
good, that's
You
yours.
did.
I handed it right to you, the minute my pen got off the stroke of it.
thank you.
Before we move on, I know that we've got some policies and other stuff that we wanna talk about here, while we've got our department heads. But we do have somebody else sitting here. Are you here for a particular topic, or? I don't wanna keep you sitting here forever, just,
Yeah, well, I find it interesting, all this talk on all this subject matters. Do you have public input?
yeah, so on any particular topic as it's coming
On
up,
the
please
school.
just raise a hand and let us know.
The DRA tax rate on the school.
Ah, So standard public comment on non-topics that like we're not currently discussing would be at the end.
Yeah.
But do you have like the MS1 or the DRA information that you, because normally you could just contact our town administrator and he'll send it to you.
Yeah, I'd be glad to do that. What
I don't
was
have that
it
in
that you
front of me,
needed in
but-
particular now?
No, the Lindsay Stepp, this month, she sends the tax rate down to every town on the local school.
That goes, I don't have that.
RSA 21J 35 gives the Board of Selectmen the power to object to that, if you wanted to. And I say that because of the Conval case, July 1st was the decision that the school operating expenses were supposed to be solely, S-O-L-E-Y.
This is for the state tax, is that right?
Yeah, the legislators are supposed to be doing this job, and there's gonna be a fairness project meeting on it in Pennacook on the Thursday, the 18th.
I don't have that paperwork yet.
Well, you're all invited to that if you wanna go.
Okay,
And,
so thank you.
No.
I didn't want to keep you like if you were for one of the other listed topics or something.
oh, you have a whole bunch more?
Yes, we do have several more. And so I just wanted to make sure we weren't like, oh, you're only here to,
No, I'll wait
you
until
know,
the
talk
end if
about
you
the
want.
solar array or something like that. But
But
yeah,
what I'm getting at is, I was here 4 years ago, when Andrew Valinsky was running for office of the governor, and he and John Tobin, John Tobin was the amicus curiae front of the court brief on the Conval for the SAU 46. And this was before the decision that was made July 1st. And now the decision, it's on page 28 or 48 of the opinion. I finally read it. And what I'd like to see is some towns say, yes, we will, when that tax rate comes down, if it's anything other than zero, from Lindsay Stepp, director, through Sam Green. There's another Sam, because I did talk with Sam at the SAU,
I know, Sam.
the business administrator there.
Yeah.
And I went to the other meeting of the finance committee, both, and I said, something's gotta be done here. And some town, maybe you can be the one to lead this off, to say, yes, when we get the tax rate, if it's anything other than zero, we're gonna ask for a hearing, and also see the executive council, one of them, to maybe come down on Lindsay Stepp for not complying with the law. Because the law, right now, it says none. The legislature's supposed to pay. And it's $4,000 per pupil now. The judge says it has to be at least 7 plus. And the legislature in the House, they passed a bill for $10,000 per pupil. Then went over to the Senate, and it died. They said it's interim study. I said, well, who's studying it? I would like to talk with him, her, or them. And they said, no, it's collecting dust.
So one quick question, just for the record, name and residence.
Bosquen, Joe Haas.
Okay, thank you.
And like I said, I was here 4 years ago, and this was way in advance of the
Yeah.
Claremont. And I'm not a resident here, but some resident could say yes on an abatement application, because that's what I did over there. Peter Laughlin wrote the book on municipal law. And he says you can argue irregularity in the abatement process, which means unlawfulness. So somebody theoretically could put an abatement in, and then the tax that they paid, you'd have to pay the interest on it.
So Joe, quick question. Your name is very familiar. You part of an organization or part of just Joe Haas out being concerned about these issues? I mean, you make some very good points, but I'm just trying to figure out, is this individual or is this part of an organization you're
Well, the Fairness Project, I've only been over to Claremont once in May. There was a book signing Andrew Valinsky had over there. I don't know these people. I'm not really connected with them.
Yeah, Andrew Valinsky is a very well-known attorney in Concord.
Yeah, he's a nice guy, but
Yep.
sometimes he never gets bit down to brass tacks.
Well, I'm not gonna go there with you. I'm just
Yeah.
trying to figure out what your goal is here, that's all.
Well, my goal is because actually, I've been having a lot of problems in Bosquen. The chairwoman selectman over there, Laurie Carey, she says, yes, when the Conval case is decided, everybody's property tax is gonna come down 60%. Now it came down, and I said, well, what about what you said earlier? What's gonna happen? oh, she says, we only do what the legislature through Lindsay Stepp directs. In other words, whatever Lindsay Stepp says, she does. But no, there's RSA 21J35 says that you can protest. And if you don't protest, then some resident can protest and put it through the abatement process, and then it would be going to the judge.
So as a non-Webster resident, I would highly suggest that if you want to have resident protest, that you do that through your residents in Boscawen. It is the same school district, so that would be just as effective.
Yeah, like I said, I'm just inviting you over there to that meeting to maybe offer your services to maybe help the citizens even before they ask.
Okay, so just for the sake of making sure that a public meeting and information is known, can you state one more time what the organization, the meeting
It's
announcement, and the time and location?
Fairness Project, I think they call it.
Okay,
And I don't know who's in charge of it. I did see a poster on it someplace, and I saw it on the internet, Facebook,
mm-hmm,
and it's the 18th. They said in Pinnacle, but they don't say where. Yeah,
okay.
I presume it's gonna be at the SAU.
But you've been active in political things quite some time, right?
Oh, yeah, a long time.
Yeah, well, I know that, yeah.
I mean, Dan St. Hilaire, when he was...
Yep, yeah, your name's familiar and I recognize it. Just trying to go back in time.
Oh, yeah, one time I wrote a letter to, one of my friends was in jail in
Yeah, I know.
Boston
Yeah, I know.
for, he was going through a divorce, and it's a long story.
Yeah.
But he was really...
Let's stay with the school
Yeah.
though, but I just want you to know that I recognize where you're coming from.
No, but what I'm getting at, I'll make it real simple, is I wrote a email printout, I gave it to our current governor, when she was Attorney General, Kelly Ayotte, and my friend, I said, well, he's in for over 4 months. Speedy trial rule says you're supposed to be out in 4 months. Because one guy was out, David...
So
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna cut you off there, because we wanna try to stay somewhat on topic, and...
Oh, yeah, well, it's, the bottom line is Constitution, that's my,
And so, to
interest.
your point, if people want to know more about that, become more active with it, they should go to this event,
Yeah.
which, I'm sure there are tons of signs, the organization is well-known, and so thank you for bringing that to people's attention.
And the town of Salisbury did get into that school stuff years ago in the annual report, and the only other city was Franklin. And also, like I said, John Tobin did the amicus curiae, so they're wondering what the next step is gonna be.
Okay.
And
Joe, I
just-
was not challenging you, I'm just reflecting on letting you know I know.
Oh, yeah, Constitution, I mean,
Yeah, you're a constitutionalist and I respect.
yeah, Red Beckman was running for
Yep.
president.
No, I get it, I get it. Well, we're good, we gotta move
And I won
on.
a case against the IRS.
Yep, yep.
How often do you hear that? Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry we kept you for so long, but thank you for coming out and for...
Oh, that's interesting information. Probably I'm gonna miss something. I'll read
Good night,
it,
Joe.
I'll read it in a minute.
See you.
All right, have a good
Or you
night.
can watch it if you
Yeah, you
want.
can watch it through the stream too when you get home, if we're
Okay.
still going.
Thank you.
All right,
That's all promise, right?
so I thought he might have been here for, say, the
I know.
ambulance contract or the website.
Sorry.
That's because,
But,
that's because I'm over here going, I look like he was gonna take a
I
nap.
I'm sorry, I
I
didn't
didn't mean to step
recognize
in
him.
on you there, but
No.
things
it's all
began
good.
to add up, but
I was expecting maybe it was somebody in support of
no.
the
He probably
baseball
wasn't up
shed,
at 4 o'clock
because
this morning
I knew
either.
that the
No,
baseball
good
shed
point.
person couldn't be
It's
here.
Well, right,
constitutionalist.
that's so,
So
sorry.
anyway,
Sorry.
carry on with,
Well,
back to the policy discussions.
Well,
oh, I was going
Or
to talk
whatever
about,
else.
oh, that's right, we have, I'm
Because
sorry.
we're still in department
I'm a little
heads.
confused.
so now, does anybody have any questions on the fire stuff? Because we were
No.
just finishing up that when I went to this.
I'll be at your next fire meeting,
Okay.
okay?
I just wanted to tell you,
Thank
Emmett,
you.
that, Hopkinton has asked the board to meet with them regarding the ambulance costs
Oh, good.
and the ambulance contract.
Oh, good.
And that is happening, September 18th, I think it is, yeah.
So that will be the next meeting.
So it won't be at a meeting, it will be just, a board member, myself, and the administrator from Hopkinton, and the chair of the Hopkinton board.
Oh, good,
And then it'll probably go into more, but
okay, all right, so you got that under control.
I don't know whether it's under control, but
It's in the works.
coming along.
Thank
Were
you.
you looking for somebody,
So why I have this on the agenda, I would like to know which board member I can talk into going with me to this meeting. I thought John would be a great choice.
I don't wanna step on my chairman's toes. If you'd like to go, by all means, as a chair, but I'd like to go. I wanna be supportive with both fire departments.
I was gonna say, like, you've been, this platform of making sure that things are dotted and crossed for security and safety has been your bread and butter and what you ran on. And I would love to allow you to take credit of being able to continue pushing this forward. If it were, for example, the transfer station where more historic knowledge from being on the board longer,
Definitely.
then yes, I would have
Yeah,
wanted to
and
do
don't,
that, but.
I'm not saying you wouldn't be good, Dave, that's
Oh,
not,
no.
that's not what I'm trying
Now,
to
we're
say.
gonna have
And
the
I don't
chief.
think I've been mentioned at all.
You're-
Well, I'm good with that.
You will thank me.
I
We're gonna have you work with you.
will. Oh, God, could you imagine?
I'm messing with you.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
messing
no,
with you.
I can see it now. What do you want to do? What time's
I
lunch?
just wanna ask a question, and again, with the sheriff. I think the chiefs are gonna be involved in this discussion too with us, I would assume.
I don't think this first meeting is gonna
Okay.
include the fire chiefs.
Okay. All right, but I,
From what I get.
just my own personal opinion is I don't like leaving them out of things.
Oh, no, I'm good, you guys will do a great
I
job.
agree, but
Not
I
your
also
fault,
would
not
come
your-
back and talk to him.
Not your proposal, no, I'm
Yeah.
just saying, I just want him to hear that,
Part of this meeting is to talk about the funding,
Yep,
which
okay.
Emmett will need to be
Yep.
involved in, and the other part is the contract,
Yep.
because I've been the one asking about.
Which
the
they say we haven't been paying enough of.
oh, really? Well, this recent, excuse me, Emmett, for saying this, but this recent drone strike that Emmett had this evening, this other issue, is gonna develop on both departments, because I'm sure you're gonna require in Hopkinton, if you have to respond to this play. I mean, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
that's all in, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, you know, it's a whole new age here we're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
It made in a good way, I'm not,
And if
I'm
somebody
playing.
calls, you can't refuse, you
I
have
think
to
we're
go.
making progress.
Somebody
Yeah.
does.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Dave. Again, like I said, I don't want to step on your toes.
Oh, not at all.
And I will
And
report
even if
back.
it does, please feel free.
He's got more.
Plenty of people step on my toes.
I promise I won't spin a computer with you.
All right.
Thank you.
Now, the notification policy.
Okay.
I had put just a, I guess a prototype in there for you to take a look at. And I'm certainly not married to it, but I wanted to start it and maybe, I mean, I don't expect you to sit down tonight, but that's something that we had been asked about, and so we're trying to put it together is what we're trying to do.
Is, and again, I think Steve mentioned something. Are you, I'm just asking, I'm not being critical.
Steve mentioned the sign policy,
Yes.
and he and Phil are gonna be working.
Oh, I'm
on
sorry,
it.
this, okay.
This is another
You're right, I haven't
policy.
read through it. Yeah, I see, okay,
Yeah.
I see what, I'm sorry, I
Yeah.
see what you, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I get it. Looks, the start looks good. I mean,
As a generic prototype, I like the direction. Some of these will be, some of these, it depends on what types of notifications we can actually do. For example, the emergency alerts, yeah, maybe it's helpful to stick an emergency alert on the website, but not super helpful if that's not also getting blasted to lots of people.
Right.
I know right now you can sign up for notifications from the website, but that's a really small number of people that have done that.
Well, I did what any self-respecting town administrator would do, is I immediately went on the internet. And,
Well, but again,
and the
it's
AI
not-
guy
It's
had
not
these,
to
so,
knock
yeah,
this.
I know.
It's to say that we're gonna have to take into account, for example, capabilities of the new website, capabilities of the new emergency contact system, if that materializes, and capabilities of integration with the sign and similar. And what I would hope to see from something like the sign policy, as opposed to the general, like, all notification policy thing, that maybe we do, maybe we don't need the notification policy, maybe we should wait on the full notification policy till we know all of the capabilities that we're expecting. But for me, something like the sign should be pretty simple, which is, if it's a major news, like if it's a public hearing or something of that nature, then it should also go on the sign.
Oh,
And if
sure,
it's
absolutely.
worthwhile going on the sign, it should also be on our website. And if it's not worth that, then it shouldn't be in either place. And so, kind of just syncing them up so that it's always informational is kind of the goal there. And to make sure that people will pay attention when it matters.
Well, it
That's
sounds
really
like-
my goal out of it.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
don't
and I
want
wanted
birthday
your
parties on there?
input on it.
Well, something like that.
That's what I'm
Like,
kidding.
because we've talked about that as a way to allow a special thing once in a while and to bring in some extra money. Those are things, we can definitely have those conversations, and that should be something that we consider making possible. But we need to come up with the policies and the way that that happens and where it happens and what the funding, what the expectation would be, like, you know, is it a $5 thing, cause it's whatever? Is it a $25 thing, cause, you know, whatever.
It takes time away from your daily
Correct.
job to,
Right.
to do it, and if
And
it's.
part of that's also gonna be like, maybe that sign can be tied into the new website, and so you post a thing and it automatically is using the thumbnail.
I think that's a great idea, it should be
And,
up tonight.
and if that's possible,
No.
then it isn't a whole bunch of time, it's, we do one thing and it's
And
everywhere.
it goes everywhere.
But if that's not possible, then how does it sync up? That's kind of where the sign policy itself, I think, should go, which we don't have in front of us. And they're gonna get us a draft for, apparently, but, that's kind of what I'm thinking in the realm of, just to, not a like overarching, we're touching everything, but more of a, let's keep it sane and not have a whole bunch of extraneous stuff.
Very.
Basically, anytime Dana or Russ says, hey, we'd like to put this notification on the board, we'd never change it, we put whatever they want. Sometimes we have to reword it for the length of it, because if it's too long, they're not gonna read it as they drive by.
Right.
Well, that's something I wanna know what the length is, so I can
But these are the
save
kinds of
you
things
guys
we
some
can
work
put in
and
a
do that
policy.
at a time at time.
Like, this is your best practice, like, this is the way you do it, sort of thing. And that would just make sense.
And I think probably as we branch out, as you mentioned, to include the new IT folks beginning, hopefully getting together with you. You know, we're gonna have to start looking at other phases of communication. I mean, the general communication like you're talking about, and then what are we gonna do for emergency communication? Because we're getting big enough where we need to be able to blast something out, or you need to be able to blast something out, you know, as
I just wish more people would sign up for it.
I agree.
So it sounds like on this, we're waiting to get some more information from the sign policy. And
I think it's more like, we could say something that would apply perfectly now, but then it can't take into account, for example, an emergency cell phone notification system.
Yeah.
The new website may have different capabilities that don't match the existing ones, and so that will be off.
Okay.
So I like the direction this is going, but the overall notification policy, I don't wanna really waste our time on it when it's all gonna change
Okay.
within the matter of a couple months anyway.
You've answered my question, thank you.
But thank you for starting. I think.
You know,
Yes, this is a great start, so thank you.
The internet's very helpful sometimes.
It is.
It's not.
AI, or as Linda McMahon at the government calls it, A1.
The steak sauce? We're getting recommendations from steak sauce.
And she's the Secretary of Education. Enough said, I won't go any further.
All right. Do we have anything further for our department heads since you already touched on the ambulance contract?
Very enlightening evening.
Yes, I don't.
Thank you.
So,
Not another home.
I had some stuff ready, and nobody asked for it. I stayed up for weeks putting this together. So, the last two meetings, I didn't have things ready, and everybody haunted me about it and prodded me, and then tonight I was all ready to go. So, I've got a couple of things on a sand shed
Awesome.
dimensions.
Thank you. Thank you for following that.
And it's only on paper, and it's only the footprint, it's not the, on the building like we have across the street, okay? So I came up with, 60 feet deep by 115 feet long. So that gives us, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bays, 5 for sand and 1 for salt. No, 6 bays and 1 for salt. That's just the floor plan to put the material under cover, not the extra one to park the loader under. But I went 60 feet deep instead of any deeper, because if we do go that route, we gotta put more of a pitch on it than what we have across the street, cause the snow doesn't slide off in that. And after you plowed snow for a little bit, it's the last thing you wanna do is get up there and shovel that off, which we've had many times, and little Phil's son, little Phil, helped us shovel it off a few times as well.
Yeah, we don't want that to have to happen.
No, there's not enough pitch. So even at 60 feet deep, your overhang's gonna be at least 6 feet out and a 3 foot on the back side, so your roof's gonna be close to 70 feet.
What's your height?
We just have to measure off, and I just
Just asking.
did the floor plan to get the 3,000 yards of material under cover. So that, at 15 feet wide, at 15 feet high, and 60 feet deep, that's 500 yards per bay to get you 3,000 yards under there. And then the hoop house stuff, I shouldn't say Susan pulled all this off for me to pass on to you guys to look at. And,
But this is just the hoop style.
yeah,
I mean, that can be, that's your layout.
Yeah.
That can be any kind of building
Yeah.
over it. This
So
is
the
just
hoop house that we have is 60 by 156 feet long, and you add that up 15 feet high, that's like 5,000 yards. So that would put you 3,000 yards of material under cover, and plus your salt, and then have room for your loader in there as well. And you can dump, so and this, the one that we put up, that Luthia Bond Builders, that wasn't the site work, that's only the structure. That wasn't, and it was all engineered for the weather. And
If we put up one of these, would you be able to do the site work?
sure,
Okay.
yeah. So there's all kinds of different things to look at, and maybe Dana wants to make copies of this and put in your folders or send to you, or you guys can
Yep.
do whatever you want with that, but that's the hoop house and that gentleman will come out anytime when we're ready, and we wanna sit down and talk.
Wouldn't you be able to move around better in this? Now, I'm very familiar with the barn, as you know, as you are, much more than I am, but wouldn't you be able to move around in this with a piece of equipment better than you would in a 5-sided shed or 6-sided shed? I don't know.
Well, one thing about a building like this, you could back your truck in
Right.
and load it and you weren't out in the rain.
What's the guarantee on this? What's the,
On the top,
on that?
it's
Yeah.
25 to 30 years. And he's got sand sheds and salt sheds for, some in New Hampshire too, he's been
Vermont,
putting in, yeah.
I've seen them in Vermont, that's one.
Yeah. But, so that's an option, and then of course we have the option that, like we already have, which worked great, it's just not big enough. That was all engineered for the weather and the wind, and they did a wind study, and they did the snow load, and,
So, with something like the hoop, generally you're going the short distance with the hoop instead of the long distance for the arch.
no, you'd be going the long distance.
Okay, cause if you,
You'd only have a door on one end.
well, right, so then you're not talking about using it in a bathed structure like you talked about with salt and sand if you're going with the hoops. So you might need additional location to be able to turn in and branch and put stuff on the sides.
Right, you could use the blocks. Put some blocks to keep your salt separate from your sand. But that one, 156 feet long with 5,000 yards, and if you have 3,000 yards of material in there or whatever, I mean, that's still gonna give you a lot of room.
Do they have plastic, I've seen some, you correct me. I've seen some with plastic blocks, I call them plastic. Are these some material that you can buy blocks with, that they're impervious to any type of erosion or any impervious to?
I've never seen the plastic, well, I guess maybe on the highway, maybe when they use the barrels, for the cars, the
There's,
squares, but I don't know if I've ever seen one.
There's a version of the Jersey barriers that are a composite material that you fill with something.
Yeah.
Probably sand, but,
What I'm referencing is David Nudd, I call him David.
Yeah, we know, yeah,
He-
nice young man,
He
yeah.
sent, I think he sent something to you, or I might have shown it to you.
You
So-
did.
But they had blocks in there, and you might wanna check with him, but he said to use those blocks like you're talking about to, you know what I'm saying, to section it off.
Yeah, so, I mean, you can build cement, build a big cement thing to anchor that to all the way around 8 feet high, or there's all kinds of ways you could mount it.
I think the only thing that we gotta, and I was kind of thinking this the other day, and I'm not a big engineered person. I mean, granted, this is engineering, not the building, but I'm a little concerned that, and maybe it's just because right now we got some stuff that we're doing, we're building, and like, oh, that wasn't really thought of, and you'd think we would have thought of it, of all people to think of it for certain things. I just didn't know if there was, because part of this is, you got the salt shed, right? Then someday, you'll make, the garage, and then, it's gonna be your, like, not your safety building, but your, what
Yeah.
are you gonna call it, right? DPW.
Yeah.
My only wondering, and I just was wondering if we shouldn't maybe do a couple plans of layout of where everything's
Right,
gonna
but
be
before we
laid.
do that, we gotta
Yeah.
be able to see what we're looking at.
But you see what I'm saying,
Yeah.
like, I'm a little nervous if we just said, okay, this is what we're gonna go with, hoop or not, right? We really should have some plan of what the garage would look like and where it would sit, because, we are a town with some, historical settings behind it, and we just wanna make sure it will flow.
An initial plan based on a long-term strategic.
That's right, that's right.
Right, but what I did is.
What you asked, we're asked to do.
Unless I was, whatever's, the size of a building that
No,
we
you did
needed.
what you were saying, but
Okay.
I kinda came
No,
up with
and
that
I'm with you.
the other
Yeah.
day. I thought to myself, holy crap, because, well, first of all, it's everybody, it's the whole town's money,
Right.
number
Yeah.
one. And everybody's got an opinion, we all do. But number two, it would just be nice to have, as long as it's not tons of money, cause I'm not, like I said, I'm not an overly big engineered person, but sometimes just a layout of a site, even from the dirt work point where all your drainage and all is gonna go, you know, like we're doing a job where we're laying out for, it's gonna be a rental shop, and, you know, they got certain drainage, they got certain, yeah, you know, where the fuel tanks go, you know, just different things. It just, not that we have to get that extent, but boy, when you're trying to put numbers together and really be real on your numbers, it's nice to have with what, where you're thinking the next step would be, which I think we talked about the last time we
Yeah.
talked about this.
Yeah.
I just wondered if there's a certain company that would be, yeah, maybe you get up there and you doze off the, you know, or Christ, we got mower, you know, people mow or whatever, get it so that it, I don't know what they would need to get what they need to get for a layout, and what plans would cost with some different options
And
with the
maybe that
size
salt
piece.
shed is a separate entity, I mean, I don't know, I'm listening to you, okay? Maybe that salt shed is a total separate entity from anything else we might wanna build down there in the next 10, 15, 25 years, but it ties in with.
Oh, absolutely, it
You
ties
know.
in, you wanna put it, not that we wouldn't put it in the right spot, I mean, I don't know the layout of the land, but you know, it's just sometimes, it's kinda like when people just do a drawing of what you're gonna build for a home, right? You know, oh, I don't need that, you know, this pitch, that, blah, 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 but sometimes, you know, when you're gonna be continuing on with some buildings, it would be nice to kinda have a
Yeah.
good eye, and then we
Well,
can
at
also.
least have it cleared off and be able to see what you have to work
Well,
with.
right,
and
with
which is
a
gonna
few
end-
drawings, because
Yeah.
we're gonna have to explain whatever we decide to get prices on a build, you know what I mean?
It's gonna have to come up here on a three pedestal board and everything.
Yeah, just
Or the screen or whatever.
Then people can't say, well, and I wouldn't blame it, cause we're all good for this. Well, what'd they do with that for? Wait for, well, should come to some of the meetings, and here were some of the options.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
But I'm listening to you too.
But I mean, Emmett did what we was asked, we
Yep,
now
yep.
know the size and all that, I just was thinking to myself the other day, I'm like,
So,
you know.
So here's my envisioning of the perfect process, which of course doesn't exist, but, and I'm sure plenty of people will disagree with me. But part of this and the exercise that we've now got with Emmett is now we know like what we need. And so we can have Dana, for example, contact various different companies, get quotes for the building construction style of something of that size. And that gives us a rough estimate of this is the kind of value we're looking at. Knowing that value, we'll be able to look at, well, is that something that we can fund out of the unassigned fund with the amount that's come back because of the bridge stuff by then? Is that not? And so we would need to save for it further. And so then we can make conscious decisions on the timing of moving forward as a board. If it's within the financial realm that makes sense, what I would love to see is that we've got a couple of those options, and maybe we don't know exactly where it's gonna sit, but if we've got people that wanna sit down and like, this is kind of what we were thinking, or at least
Or at least a
the
couple-
3 or
couple,
4
yeah.
things that we were thinking should go there, and we wanna figure out how to put them in the best way. I'd love to have something like that as a general informational slide and some straw poll stuff at the end of town meeting. So during the warrant articles, we could say, we'd like to take this and put it into this fund because this will cover this sort of work. These are the things we've been thinking about now and for the future, which kind of direction does the town like? And that will give us a ton of information and which direction to move forward and which place to see if we can actually make the siting work. But we'll have the funding so that it can move in the way that it should and get completed, because the last thing we want is to have DES coming at us across the street. And so we want to take care of things before we're forced to take care of things without funding in place. is really it. And then it makes Emmett's life easier, because it's all here on site.
So with all that said, and I keep hearing what you're saying, are you recommending to us that the site should be cleared so that a person doing all of that, a company?
Well, hopefully after we get Detour Road done, which will be the end of October, because we're working with the bridge people.
Right.
So when we pave that, it's all done together instead of two nice jobs all scabbed together.
Okay,
And then we're going over there and get the road up there and get the road up top that Dave's been after me for the last 3 years
and
to
the
do.
platform of where all this stuff.
And then get that cleared off.
Okay, that's what you're
top.
saying, okay. I just needed to get it in my head, what your
Yeah,
vision is.
yeah. And-
Now, will
but
that money will come out of the whatever fund?
we already, yeah, we have that money,
Do you have about an estimate of what you think the rest is left to finish up that road to get it up in there? And
oh, I don't know, I gave you guys a price a year ago, what it was gonna cost somewhere, put it all together.
Yeah, that's something.
Huh?
Okay.
30-something?
what's it this year, Emmett?
Jesus Christ, 3 loads of gravel's $1,000.
That's stretching it,
Huh?
and that's stretching it.
No, it don't go far.
Oh, I know.
We're gonna start sending you a bill from coming in and winding up the select board.
At least you're smiling.
So, yes.
Thank you.
So anyways, that's that, and, I mean, the site work, it all depends on what's there when you get digging. Because if it's all clay, you're gonna have to dig that out and put a good base down.
Most of the time you dig out, you box it out, put the
Yeah.
drainage in,
Yeah.
put the put your culverts where they need to go.
Yep.
So we do have citizens, as you know, that are concerned about where it's going, and I think what would be important for them to be supportive of you is give them some, or have prepared for the next meeting, depending if the citizens give some level of report as to what we're doing and the progress we're making. So I think part of that progress is to say that the next step, as you said, is to get that site cleared, so a better visual of the impact of what we're gonna put.
The
in this-
majority of it's been cleared and all logged and clear cutted, and it's been stumped.
But that's in your plan, I mean, that's.
It's
what's-
been stumped.
Yeah.
The saddest part of it is, the guy that did that buried most of the stumps, and nobody knows where they're buried.
But I mean, you're gonna be able to get in there and do what you gotta do, right?
It takes time, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And then,
And hopefully we don't wanna place it where they buried all the stumps.
Right.
No, I suppose we could
Or
dig
we
out,
do,
put
because
it in.
they're all dug after.
Well, you see
Yeah.
where I'm going at.
Yeah.
So we can say, this is progress point number 1, progress point number 2. I'm sorry to be so formal with it all, because it really doesn't need to be, but it has to be.
Well, it would be really nice to, especially if we're saying we wanna do this and appropriate the money at that point in time, like, we should be giving them a timeline of
You're
what
right.
we expect when. And that, like, I think we have many months to do that before town meeting. And there's really no reason that we shouldn't be able to do that.
and that, I mean, it's like,
Because we don't have to have, like, be ready to sign a contract on a
No.
particular building in an exact location. We just, this is the timeline, this is where we are, these are the methods and directions. So.
right, and by the time you dig that all out and get that all done, just the foundation to put that building on, because I know what it cost me, or Sue's, to do ours. Yeah. It's a lot of loads of dirt.
All right. Thank you very much for putting that together. Well, Dana will
Yeah, and we can
work
get
to
some,
contact people and get
and we
more
can,
going.
well, I mean, I don't understand what Dana, contact, I mean, talk to.
Well, because we've got the size, right? So he can.
Oh, no, we don't, well, we have the size of our building
Right.
up on the hill, and then I have the size
Right, we have the size of what you're saying
What
you
it's
need
gonna
for
take
the
for-
sand and salt shed.
for for this type of building, so,
So are you saying that's not the size if it's a different
this
style?
is, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
This is,
So Dana should be able to take that size and reach out to a couple different places, whether it's the hoop place, whether it's standard construction, whether it's a local contractor, and ask them, give me a rough estimate for building a building of this size in a various style.
well, the people that build them buildings there, they don't do the site work. So you can call them all
Sure.
day long, they're gonna tell you to get it ready, and then they'll come put up the hoop house.
Right, but then we know what that price is.
I gave you the price.
Okay, is that for that size or for, I thought you
For
gave us the
the
price for
Rahu
yours?
house.
Right. So he can contact them and get them one for the size of what you're saying that you need for the
Well,
sand salt
there's a
shed.
little bit more has to be done before that. You gotta figure out where your posts are gonna go. You're gonna have a,
But it'll give us a very good idea of a range, like an estimate that we can, like, it'll be somewhere around this price for a structure of this type. And then we can go into the details with working with whichever company might make sense at the, once that's done.
to put the building up.
Yeah, to figure out how it should be constructed, what will be required underneath it, the spacing of the posts, et cetera. But they should definitely be able to take, this is the length and width, and we're gonna expect an X or Y kind of
Right, how far, they're
base.
gonna wanna know how
And
far
so when-
everything's gonna be apart, how
and-
high the roof's gonna be.
Right.
There's a
And
little
they can
bit.
tell us what that base is, that they'll require underneath, and we can see if those are similar amongst things. Cause this is the kind of budgetary planning portion, not we're saying we're going with this building of this style with exact post counts. 'Cause that will be the next step, but this way we have something to move forward with.
Well, I'll work with Dana a little bit more on that, because you gotta find out your pitch before Dana calls and makes himself look like to talk
Yeah,
to a
you'll wanna
contractor. And
know
you're
what the
gonna have
pitches
to,
are.
we're gonna have to
I
do.
can do that really easily.
Oh, no, not the- right? Gonna, yeah, so let me do some more measuring and figure some things out, get Dana some more information on the type building that we have.
Did I also hear, Marlo was saying that, to contact a professional to do like a plan of where these buildings are gonna be sited, is that,
I think that
Something.
should happen, but after it gets cleared off and you
you're
can
gonna wait
see
till
what's
it's
going on
cleared, is
there.
that,
Well, I'm hearing a couple things.
I just wanna make sure I have it straight in my
I'm hearing
head.
him, and that's why I kept asking. I don't mean that disrespectful. I'm hearing the site needs to be clear, and do we have money in the budget to do that? Is that what I'm hearing?
I believe we do.
Okay, we have that.
Yeah.
So then, once that site's cleared, I agree with what Marla was saying. And I think that the twist on my head is, okay, I don't think the salt complex should be part of the extended platform of what we are doing in the future. But I do think it should be able to tie in, am I saying this correctly?
Well, I just think just make sure that you have left room for what you were gonna
Make sure it
do.
doesn't go where you want something
Right,
else.
but first and foremost, I'm
Not that it's
hearing,
gonna be not even that hard and difficult, but just even the layout, the drainage and all that, and then when he goes in, it's not to make it more difficult, it's just to make sure that, we're covered in that
Right.
sense.
and I'm not trying to make more of this, but I'm hearing him say, and he's right here so we can say it again, that he's gotta get that site cleared up there, so then we have a visual for whoever comes in to work with he and you to do those things that we're asking you to do. And I see that timeline after this bridge is done, is somewhere in November, or whenever this bridge is gonna be done. I don't see it any further than November. And then there's plenty of time there, I mean, I don't know, a week or two, 3, 4 to clean that out. And someone comes in with the two of you and looks at it and gets the information that we are seeking, so we can start processing that for town meeting. I mean, correct me if
I
I'm, you
understand
two,
that.
correct me if
Yeah.
I'm wrong.
Basically, you don't wanna go and put the salt shed in and then say, oh geez, it's in the
Should've been
wrong
someplace
spot.
else,
No, you gotta plan it. You gotta have it right, because you only got a one-shot deal to do it. You gotta know where you're gonna have to have a septic system, you're gonna have to have a well. when
Okay.
this all happens,
Eventually, yeah.
yeah, well, you might as well
I'm with you.
plan for it now.
Exactly, exactly.
And know at least
That's
where
what,
to place
that's
it.
what I'm trying to
Yeah.
Right,
say.
Where your power's gonna go and,
I think we're all saying the same
Yeah.
thing, it's just how we say it.
yeah.
Yeah.
My mind shut off 2 hours ago.
But I'll work with Dana and get him some,
Still back on
because I don't want him, I mean, we I have to work on that a little bit more before,
Alright,
so he
Okay.
doesn't,
Thanks.
somebody's.
All right, do we have anything further with the department heads?
Time to eat supper.
let's stop arguing.
Okay.
I almost
and are
called
we-
in sick tonight.
We already covered Hopkinton ambulance stuff, is there
we
anything
did.
further?
Thank you.
Are we good?
We did.
Okay. That brings us to the solar array mowing. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming out
Okay,
and
thank you.
humoring us with all the time that you've spent here.
Before we discuss the solar array mowing, I'm going to recuse myself. I want to be truthful, full disclosure. The person who you're going to talk about is a contractor for me, and has been for a number of years. So I'm gonna go over there and sit, and we have this discussion, and go for it, okay?
Thank you.
Thank
I would not suggest that you have to go there and sit,
That's
but
good.
I understand.
Yeah, I don't know, sit down. And I'm even just thinking about it, it's just somebody you're recommending. It's not,
Well, of course.
I mean, right now, we.
Well,
can
hiring
I-
somebody that-
Hold on,
that's
hold on, we
working
already
for
have
you.
all this
But yes,
pushing
yes.
going around like we just
Yes.
talked about.
If
To
you-
be honest with you, so sit
if you
down.
talk, thank you, okay. But
I don't see.
I did recommend somebody in full disclosure, but he's one of my, has been for years.
And I'm sure he's not handing you 20 underneath the
No,
table.
no,
Right.
yes, no.
So we're probably okay, John.
No, we're good. I just like to be, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So as you know, we're trying to find someone to mow the solar field. And I did speak with Mr. Keaton about it, and he sent me this estimate of what it would cost to do that. Now, I haven't, it's under what we need for quotes and things. However, $900 is $900. And I very much want it done. Should I, and I just want the board's opinion, if I should keep,
What is he exactly, I mean, my first glance at it, the only thing that I have a little bit of a stumble over is the $450 an hour.
I was gonna say, is that what this is really saying, is $450 an hour?
well, it says 2 hours and it says at $450, that's how I read it.
Yeah. That was my only stumble, because it's not like you're going, like, so for example, we have a,
And he's estimating it would take him 2 hours, I
right,
guess. Yeah.
you know, we have a mower with, a piece of equipment with a thing, a head, you know,
Yeah.
that thing's like $300,000, and we get
I was
$200
gonna buy a
an hour.
lawnmower and have Russ do it.
Well, we get $200 an hour, so that just seemed a little bit steep for me, but I didn't know what I don't know, maybe he had something special he was using, so that would have been my main question, cause, you know.
Well, I think it looks like he does a pretty thorough job, string trimming, brush cutting inside a fence, trimming around the inside of the fence, trimming all around the solar panels, getting under them how he can, cutting the brush, I mean, there's,
And that might be right there, getting underneath them, and, I mean, that might be making
yeah.
worth
So,
$450 an hour, I mean, I'm just asking.
So what, like, the thing that gets me here is twofold. One is, we've had a couple people that have volunteered and done this in the past. I don't know, and one of them said that they might consider doing this sort of thing going forward, so we should reach out and see if they want to also provide a quote or something. Because maybe it was, yeah, I want to be known so that I can do that and submit a quote when the time comes. So we should absolutely make sure that we've
Okay.
done at
Good-
least
good
that.
point.
What really gets me, like, I have no idea what the cost of landscaping is, but what
Kinda
gets-
wish you had just
what-
said $900,
what-
not only $450 an hour.
what gets me really is that the solar project was originally supposed to be maintained by the company that for lack of any other comments, is we've repaired the relationship enough to be functional with the contracted company that built the solar array. But there's certainly not gonna be extended service coming out of that. The other portion of that is that traditionally the Energy Committee has done this job, of which I've been on. I've gone and done this job with the Energy Committee 4 or 5 different times since I've been here. And so this is a new cost that has not been particularly budgeted or expected or put in there compared to where we've been. And so you put all those together and yeah, it's only $900, which isn't a lot in a municipality, but it's also a lot compared to the nothing that we've been used to. And knowing that random committee and volunteer members can do this, and have generally been on the hook to do it, it bothers me that we have to go spend $900 to do that. On the other hand, the Energy Committee used to be fairly active. We had good reason to be with modernizing and updating lights and heating and insulation and things of that nature. And all of the people that were on it were fairly active and outdoorsy and everything. At this point, basically everybody that's left on the Energy Committee is unavailable and not fully physically capable, with the exception of, I guess, I can call myself physically capable. But so that's not the same option that it really always was. I know that Marty, chair, he'll still be happy to come down and, run his mower around in it. We just have to make sure that we can find time to make that happen. But I guess that's just me rambling on it.
I was gonna say, I'm a little confused.
I understand what you're saying, I get it, but, and I think that it's a good idea for me to ask, and I can't think of what his name is now that
Yeah.
did the volunteer work. I do know he worked very hard to do that, and we were very lucky
And
that he offered.
And it looked good.
To offer that he did it again, so I have not spoken to him about it, but I will.
Since we're talking generally, can I make a couple points? It's essential infrastructure. Yes, David, you make some good points with volunteerism. I get that. But I think we're going on to a different phase for Webster.
Yes.
Those things don't exist anymore. I think it's essential as the chair to be able to explain that, talk about the history. I appreciate you doing that. I was the one that came in here last year, self-admittedly, and I won't say complained, but maybe criticized or whatever to you folks about how this needed to be addressed, because poplar trees were coming up through it. But I see it as essential infrastructure, no different as the generator out here, which Dana tries to keep serviced as best as possible. So I think that, and I think the day and age of I do think if other people have done it, and again, this is no reflection on but I know what landscaping costs. And when I think about it, people have, what do you want to say, stated an interest in doing it, I think a contact is important. If they don't want to do it, I think we come back and reconsider. The other thing to do is maybe go back to Bryce, or any other contractor that comes forward. And I never accept a contract for what it is. I'm sure you're the same way. And I've dealt with millions of dollars of contracts as people sitting here, and I know you've had. I always go back and say, take out your pencil. Let's go again. Excuse me. So, maybe that too. So.
It is a double-edged sword. Moving the stuff over here, getting right. It's not like you're in the area.
No.
Per se, like when you're doing like landscaping, you're here, like mowing lawns and stuff. Then you got your line
This
up.
isn't mowing a lawn.
Right. No, but trimming and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just know that we have, some equipment that we do.
Right.
Like trees like that size,
Yeah.
you mulch it right down, and I know we get an hour to do it, and That's all. That was just, that's the part that probably seemed high to me, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't have it in there, and he's gotta move his stuff over, he's gotta, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
But I do
I'm
know
not
Dave
saying
said-
it's unreasonable, I'm just saying in the context, it's hard to immediately swallow unless we see competitive quotes.
And that's the issue, finding competitive quotes.
Or estimates, I should say.
Or estimates, yeah. Because I've tried to get other quotes for this. Now, can I try to get some more? Of course.
Well, it's then how much time to spend on it when it does only end up being $900 too, but,
Right.
Right.
and it's done. And then I don't know that if it's maintained once a year, it'd be an interesting question to say, okay, if you go in and you go in there for 900 this time, what would be your number next year? Because once you get, I haven't really looked that close, so I don't know the size.
Yeah,
of
and
what's
if
in
you
there.
notice in
But if you
here,
get everything
he's talking about
down and
twice a
then you
year.
stay
Well,
up with it.
Imagine working with a brush cutter
Mm-hmm.
underneath, so you're not coming up on your back, knocking out the panels.
Right.
I'm just offering.
No, agreed,
I'm
it's
not
not,
trying to
yeah.
be- I'm
No,
not
I
trying to-
agree.
Yeah.
And I said that when they said about being underneath them, and yeah.
I would go back and say, can we sharpen the pencil?
Mhm.
And I would, as David mentioned, if there's someone else out there that, out of fairness as a board, we need to feel that you need to talk to them, and they say, no, I'm not interested, then that takes us down the road we're on. And the decision is made, but I guess we go with who we've got if we can't get somebody else. Since you've tried to get someone.
Well, I haven't had luck getting anyone else.
That's my point, yeah.
I will talk with that gentleman that did it last year.
Mhm.
Can't think of his name at all. I should know, but can't think of my own name at the moment.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then I will talk with Bryce about sharpening his pencil.
If he could,
Yeah,
I'm not trying
I
to be
get
rude
it.
in any way, I just.
Yeah.
And just for the sake of it, please tell Marty, the chair of the Energy Committee, that this is a current topic, and see if he wants to weigh in on it.
I will, okay?
Good point.
All right.
All right.
Okay. So, that brings us to Merrimack Valley Youth Baseball Shed.
You're gonna talk about the website quote?
Oh, sorry.
Gift me.
I guess.
Oh, I thought we talked, but we didn't have,
I got numbers for the website. So
or am I
Yes.
confused? That's
You're-
cyber
That
security.
was cyber. That was
Okay.
IT, this is the website, it's on the
Ah.
same, these are the projects I've been working on this year. So, we got a quote from CIA and how much it's gonna cost,
That's our current vendor, right?
Civic Plus, sorry.
Yeah,
CIA is the
yeah,
tax maps.
right.
So this is from Civic Plus, actually. Civic Plus, they have finally gotten me a quote for how much it's gonna cost to upgrade our website. And I've included that in the packet, it's a little under $10,000.
Yep, that one.
And that's gonna be annually, so it's not a one-time fee, that's an annual fee.
Yikes.
And that's what I said. So then I also went and looked up another, I know me and Dana had gotten a quote before that was pretty comparable for a website, so I went back to that vendor to see what the quote would line up to today, because that was like 4 years ago, so it probably would have changed. And this is the quote that they gave us back, and it's a comparable service. In fact, one of the things that our other, for Civic Plus is going up so high is because they need to add ADA compliance. The other website already includes it as part of their base model. So I'm just looking for some feedback from the board, if we should continue with the website upgrades for Civic Plus, which I do not know when it will happen.
Isn't it the
Or-
law that they're supposed to
Correct.
have that? Yeah.
But the penalty goes down on the municipality, not on the company.
Okay, so you've got a company that is charging you for,
A mandatory
for a
upgrade.
mandatory thing.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's kinda how I felt, that's kinda how I felt with the price going up from I think it's a little, like $3,100 a year to being $9,000 a year, just seemed a big jump. And then I was very surprised. 'cause
Especially for the lack of what they do for us.
you said it, not me.
And
And then I got the
currently
quote
they're
from
charging us almost twice. Well, no, it's not quite twice,
I expected that quote to be higher from the other website, to be honest. That was very reasonable. And I will say, I'm gonna call some references on them, cause I got some references, cause I wanna, check with other towns before, and it will require a little work from us, cause they say they need the images, and they say it's a good idea to get somebody with a drone to take some drone footage, cause it really makes the website pop, and you can put that on the main page. They do a whole bunch of other stuff. They also have phone notifications as part of their web service, so people can put in their phone number, and then when alerts go out on the website, it'll go right to their phone.
Is that additional fees, or is that
Nope,
built
it's
into
all
this?
included.
Okay.
Part of $10,000?
No, this is the cheaper quote.
Oh, okay.
Provide
The other
service.
one.
I'm
The
sorry.
services above and beyond
So
what
what's
we
the
are
cheaper
already
quote here? I'm
receiving.
trying to speed read this.
4,000 to migrate, 2,000 annually.
And that'll do $4,000
Or
worth.
$3,000 a year if we sign a 3-year
Plus the phone
contract.
notifications?
And the notifications come with it, it's built into the
That's
website.
a pretty good price,
That's
depending on
what
what
I
Dave
said.
thinks here, right?
Now, they do Raymond,
They do Raymond, that's what I was gonna call
yeah, and they also do Peterborough.
it, and they do
Okay.
Peterborough.
Yeah, so I
So-
love the concept. I think the pricing is reasonable. I do want to see what comes back when you call the other
That was my
towns that
thing,
are doing
Cause
it.
it seems
Um,
too good to be true, and I wanna check
And
off.
if there's a simple, like, comparison table of like, this is done, this is charged, this is an extra fee sort of thing, that we could be presented with afterwards, that would be great, to help make sure that we really know what we're getting into for the costs, instead of, we think this
Well,
is
the other
included, but whatever.
Thing that we don't know is how long until Civic Plus upgrades our website, cause
Right.
we're already waiting for 2 years.
Mhm.
The law goes into effect in January, I think, where we have to be ADA compliant, or people can start, litigating.
But
God,
yes.
you
I-
go into some
yeah.
town websites, it's like, oh my.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
the way ours is set up
Well-
is a lot like the other towns that
It
I
is,
deal
it's
with.
the exact same.
Yeah.
Kind of a
It's all the same
boilerplate
company.
one.
But all
Yeah.
these
All the
towns
same
have a
somebody.
David working for them.
No,
but I mean,
it's all
they have-
Civic
but
Plus,
they have
it
the-
doesn't work anywhere.
No, but I'm saying they have a website person
Oh,
who does
yeah.
it for them internally.
That's true.
You know,
Yeah, but no,
IT.
I'm just saying that I've seen some, like, when I go in to
Oh, yeah.
file some paperwork to each town, it's like,
The one in
weird,
town,
I just want to be able to know where to email this. You
Yeah.
can't even find, like, you can't find anything on some of the websites, it's kinda, so they're gonna have to, by law, update themselves.
Well, it's more for, you have to have a voice reader. So if somebody programs a voice reader onto it, it has to have the ability to make the text larger for somebody who's seeing impaired.
Yeah.
It has to have all this stuff.
There's,
And their website was created with that already built in, where Civic Plus doesn't have that.
yeah, and, I'm blanking on the name of it now, but there's ADA compliance, and then there's another disability service, that, it's similar to ADA in the way that it lays things out in compliance, but it's a web-specific thing.
Yeah.
And that in the past has been a recommendation. It's actually also turning into a mandate.
It is a mandate as of January.
Well, not the, I'm not talking about ADA, New Hampshire ADA, whatever compliance stuff. But it's that, I'll have to look it up, but it's that other disability chain of web stuff that used to be recommended to be done in addition to ADA, because it's kind of above and beyond ADA. And in various locations and types of sites, it is becoming a mandatory, I think, 2 years from now or something like that. So we should be making sure that they're also moving towards that if they're not already there. Yeah.
Plus, we haven't had very good response from Civic Plus.
Oh yeah, I'm still waiting for them on
Yeah.
the emergency response thing. I've contacted the manager and my client rep 3 times at this point in the last 2 weeks.
Just for the sake of it, because I see their name everywhere when I go to conferences and they send stuff because of other municipal things, please contact GoGov.
Yeah, I already wrote it down.
Okay. And I don't know if they'll be competitive or not, but, or if they even do websites, maybe they only do services that would normally be attached to, say, Civic Plus. But,
Well, that was
it's
one of the
worth- it's worth
disadvantages.
asking.
If we ever got a quote on the emergency alert system, I'm not gonna hold my breath. If we stayed with Civic Plus, it'd be the same company, so it would integrate with the website a lot better. Like I said, I don't think they wanna sell us anything based on how long it takes them to get back to us on asking for quotes.
okay.
So you're gonna get the recommendations, you're
I'm
gonna.
gonna call Raymond and see what they
Okay,
think.
you're gonna see what they say.
I know they do Peterborough, but I can call Peterborough.
I believe they do,
Okay,
yeah.
anything further on the website stuff?
Nope, it's good.
Okay,
Thank you.
so that moves us to the youth baseball shed.
The youth baseball, committee would like to have an 8x8 shed. And they'd like to place it at the back of the parking lot at the park. This is right before where the porta potty is now, I guess, to the left of it. Before you go down that little dip into the park.
Yep.
And so they can store some equipment there.
Yeah, so the line chalker, chalk field break, et cetera, for games is what they said. They did send the message to me. I made sure to forward it on to Dana and say, well, I can't say anything, but other than we'll talk about it and put it on. They've done good work on the field for us, taking care of that. They are not asking us to provide a shed. They're asking to make sure that if they get a shed, that they can put it there.
I don't see any reason why we can't let them have a shed.
I think it's a simple request.
Yeah.
It's a courtesy request.
Can we move on
Yeah,
from it?
yeah,
Let's say
move
yeah.
on. I'm gonna make a motion that we accept that.
My only question is that the location? Should it be on the back of the field, for example, instead? Or
No, I think
should
right-
it stay over
Yeah, I
next to
think-
where the porta potty is?
Yeah,
right
I think
now?
it's kind of a little bit out of the way. It's not gonna be an eyesore. It's just
Yep.
right there. But yet it's close enough.
To be convenient,
yeah.
yep, yep.
I
So
think
you
that,
need an okay to go back to them.
Well, I'm not gonna go back to them.
Oh.
Yeah,
It would
if
be what the board
you
decides.
are amenable to that, I'll let them know.
Yeah, we're good, I'm good.
Should we have a motion for that, or?
Why
He
not?
already made the motion.
Yeah.
I guess I'll make a motion that we approve the request for a sports shed. The 8x8 they wanna put up for
8x8,
the,
okay.
To allow them to put
Yep,
it there,
yep.
yep, I would second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
I mean, I think it's wonderful them doing what they're doing.
oh, I do
Yeah.
too.
Field,
Yeah.
you know, and yeah, you gotta have your
being
little
involved in
shed.
helping,
I mean,
it's
maybe
awesome.
next we'll have a little thing where they can sell a few hot dogs.
Well, when those people came in this spring, I'm sitting here saying, oh, we're gonna take care of all this. And go,
I know, yeah.
I have to ask, because this triggered it in my mind, we were asked about signs and advertising, whatever happened with that?
I've seen
I know
a
we
couple
kinda said it
signs,
would
but
be
not,
fine, but,
not very many.
Well, it's probably work in
But-
progress.
But I think that committee is also working, getting organized and so
Yeah.
forth, and I know they've used the field a lot.
Yes.
And they still are. And
Which is
again,
awesome.
it's kind of nice.
It's
you
a
know.
Very
great
nice.
center for the
You know.
students.
It's good for
We're a
the
lot,
people.
we're very, we're,
We are.
you know, for such a
Yes.
small,
Yep.
small, you know, I mean, nice field right by the, you know, I don't know, we're just
There's a lot of
fortunate.
participation.
Yeah, you have lights on your soccer field,
Yep,
I mean, whoever,
yep.
who was the one that did that? And what, you know,
Yeah.
just whatever, it's just cool.
It's very nice.
all right, so that moves us to correspondence, we've talked about a couple of them.
Right. The only other thing is, the city of Concord's inviting you to a meeting if you have concerns about a cell tower happening out on Blackwater Road.
Where is it, in Concord?
It's in Concord, yeah.
No, we need a cell tower. Concord needs a cell tower,
I know.
so I'm not gonna go and complain about that.
You know, it's part of the regional impact portion of getting these
Is
things.
it somebody's backyard, or do you know where they're putting it, or?
Well, it looks like it's in someone's backyard.
But they'll be notified.
Yeah.
They can go and hooshy.
Although I was a little confused because they're talking about the tax map and 1 to 7 McGuire Street happens to be in back of the state prison warehouse.
It's up toward the back side, well. it's up
You're probably
toward
more
the
familiar
front
than
side
I
of
am,
the
yeah.
quarries, yeah.
Yeah, I just know whenever I go to
It's
pick up
dead
a
man's
sign,
land up on top.
there are signs that say, you know, don't go here if you're an inmate.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, there's also a shooting range up in there, you might not wanna go to that.
Oh, I don't think I'll go there either. Yeah.
Just an FYI.
Do we have any other correspondence?
That's the
Yeah.
only correspondence I have.
Indeed.
The,
Do we have any public comment?
Do we have the letter?
hang on.
Yes, we're getting there.
Okay.
Calm down, everything's okay.
I cannot be calm. And I don't know what happened while I was in the bathroom.
Yeah, I
Oh
said-
boy, as you wait and you wait, you think, oh, we're almost done, and you go and you go,
I still got stuff.
Yeah, I don't have it in front of me, so, here's one. I will state that I forwarded on, something from Cisco saying that it was renewal time. I'm pretty sure that's the firewall up with the police, but
Yeah.
verify it and
Yeah.
then
Yeah,
renew as
and I did,
appropriate.
yeah.
The, and I don't see it right in front of me at the moment. Here we go. There was a suggestion and request by a resident on Clothespin Bridge Road to see if there would be an opportunity for the town and/or the residents on the road to have some form of grand opening or like a coming together of the two sides of the road or something when the bridge was to first open. I forwarded that on
Yeah.
to Dana as well.
Get a bottle of
And there were
champagne.
also concerns about how the bridge being more open and not a roller coaster and stuff would increase speeds. I did mention that the Traffic Safety Committee should be meeting, but again, I'll leave it kind of there as a generic. These are concerns that people have, and that Traffic Committee hopefully does some good looking into that. And I know we've got several people on the road that are concerned about those speeds, especially right next to the bridge.
I think the ribbon cutting and kind of that, I like that idea if it's not snowing.
Right.
You know,
Bristol had this, on a much bigger scale, the bridge across the Thomas River. And he did a couple things which I thought were kind of neat at the same time, the ribbon. And I think these are great suggestions. I also have a concern about the speed. But with that being said,
You do?
you think? With that being, well, you know, somebody's gonna be on top of it.
Oh, no, for sure.
And I know I'm saying that to be combative with you, but I'm saying
I know
right
you are.
up front, I'm saying, I don't care if they get warnings or they get blue lighted and ticketed, but the bottom line is the speed is unbearable. But with this, Bristol did a nice thing, they dedicated the bridge and had to dedicate, in fact, they dedicated it to a guy named Bill Finney, who was a longtime conservation officer up there. So I would think, and Dave's suggestions, which are very positive, I think, we should be thinking about, A, the safety concerns, and B, during that ribbon cutting, should the town somehow have a dedication to someone in the town who's been a great citizen in the town, living or not, to dedicate the bridge to? Or should that be something we do down the road? But any ribbon cutting, when you have something like, I was very impressed with it, it was quite an afternoon. They had refreshments there, and you know, they had the guy they dedicated, he was still alive. I mean, there's a lot of people in this town that would be worthy of having their name on that bridge. Or doing it on either side of the bridge. You don't have one person on this side. I don't know, I'm just throwing that out to you for thought.
I think that's a great idea. I can think of a few people that
Well, I think,
it would be.
yeah, that
nice
would be.
idea.
Or maybe one living and one that's passed. I mean, obviously you wanna pull a committee together, the board wants to nominate a committee to do that, that might be smart to do, but
And if you invited Clothespin residents, the people on this side and the people on that side, invited them to walk across it,
Yeah.
The first one's, I think it's kind of a
Or
nice.
get one on either side of it and have them shake
you know,
hands right in the middle of the bridge.
A
You get the
little
Concord monitor
opportunity,
up
maybe
there.
you can be in
Yeah.
the Concord Monitor and a
Yeah.
positive
Yeah.
story.
They do
Won't come out
those?
if it's positive.
Would they know how to get there?
Oh,
No.
this one.
Actually, sometimes they got stuff in there that you don't hear on Newsline at all.
True.
Really?
Well, you know, for local news, they do a good job. And I'm not looking at them for national news, but you at least get to see what you might not see on the, you know what I'm saying? What might be happening on McGuire Street or somewhere, you know, so.
Anyway, so I wanted to mention it because it was correspondence, and also direct everybody, you know, if you have comments on speed limits that should be adjusted, or signs that you find are a problem, or intersections that are a problem, the traffic committee should hear that
Yep.
and be able to take that into account when they give us a recommendation on what we should do as a board.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Seeing as we've now lost all of our public, I guess there's no public comment, so on to motions and approvals.
Okay.
While he gets all the signing out, has everybody had a chance to look through the draft minutes?
Yep.
And
Good with those?
would somebody like to make a motion on the minutes?
I motion to accept the minutes as is of the last meeting, whatever date that was.
August 18th.
August 18th. That was a long time ago, that's why I can't remember it.
Okay, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
This is a letter that you knew was coming. It's a code enforcement action.
I
It
guess,
doesn't sound like it's a code enforcement
It's not
action.
a code enforcement action.
Maybe I explain. I'll let you explain it through the letter.
yeah,
This is something we've been discussing about, and I talked to Joan about it in Dana's office. He kinda feels this way. I feel like the discussion has led that way in the past with the total board. So I wanted to present the letter to the board stating things that have been brought up and how the board members have felt, and saying, hey, we've acknowledged it, we've looked at it, and this is how we feel as long as the parking's handled, because it is agriculture.
I don't,
I'm thinking of the wrong case, I think.
I guess
No.
I personally, I mean, I think she kinda did what we
That's Brenda.
asked her to do, I don't know why we have to send her anything.
I was thinking it was,
This is before, let me help you with this. This letter I suggested before Brenda came in and spoke with
Yeah,
yourself. And I'm just trying to think this through, before she and you had the conversation.
And I remember she didn't have time to come into the meeting, that was
Right,
one of the
and I
issues.
said, well, maybe just a letter and then, you know, but run it by the board to see if you wanna do the letter. But I'm, quite truthfully, I'm happy with the fact she put the signs up. My biggest concern was people pulling over immediately and somebody.
she did what we asked,
She took care of what we needed to take care of.
yeah, I don't think it's
Which
necessary.
was the parking on the
Yep,
road.
yep.
But nice jump right in.
Well,
The,
Brenda also wants the letter because people still give her.
Well, if Brenda's asking for a letter,
Oh,
that's a whole
okay.
different thing. man. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I think
I
this
told
is
her
a-
that, you know, when we get, she said if she could have it sooner, and I'm like, well, we don't have it signed yet, I gotta wait till the meeting, and then when it gets signed, we can always, you know,
so
give you your copy, put it in a sleeve, and you can staple it to a tree.
There, I see two things that bother me about this. And one is strongly recommend instead of request. And then there is kept further into. There's no distances, there's no X number of feet off of the road or anything of that nature. That would make it something that you can say, see, I'm fine. And there's nothing for someone to go, you're not doing this, and there's also nothing for her to go, I'm fine, I am doing everything that's requested. And so I think we should fix those two things. I don't know what the appropriate thing would be, but if we're going to do this, I think those need to be addressed in there. I don't personally have problems with the rest of it, one way or another. But just the technical aspect of it, if it's gonna be sent out much like a code enforcement letter, it should be written like one with specific distances and that it's a request, not just a strongly recommend.
So if we're going to take that consideration, I would offer to Russ to have the chief of police go down with him, meet with Brenda, and the three of you decide what's a reasonable distance, a car length or 2 car lengths into her driveway. I don't want to say what I think it is, I think that's for the chief to decide. And the three of you decide on that and I mean, I wouldn't want to send her a letter anyway, I'm kind of with Milo on that, but, I am with Milo, but the fact that she's.
If she's requested it.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's always, yeah.
So can I just say one other thing?
Yeah.
Why don't you just have a discussion with her and say, hey, Dave was concerned that, more or less to kind of say to you, hey, if you really want it to be something you can say here, you'd probably want us to write more of the distances. If not, if you're okay,
We're gonna let it drop.
sometimes less is better.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
gonna
okay
be
with
my,
either.
I'm fine with that.
that's my 2 cents
Yeah,
on it.
if you still want this, we'll, you know, have the police chief and stuff come down, work with you and figure out the appropriate numbers. If not, like, then it is what it is and they did what we asked.
I mean, you know, maybe a car length in the driveway, not to say that's what the chief would want, maybe talk to the chief. I'm not trying to make a mountain out of a molehill.
But like this, my problem with this is that this doesn't say anything for either side. And so there's no point in
Yeah,
it.
there are 2 sides to this.
Even though it's nice.
And I do like
Very nice.
the letter, it's all
That's what I meant, not.
appropriate,
yeah.
other than without specifications, neither side gets anything, so then why bother?
You were nice.
I'm scared of Brenda.
So what are we gonna do? We're gonna do what Milo
I'll
suggests?
talk to Brenda about it.
Yeah,
see
say,
what she
well,
wants.
we have no problem, but it needs to be a little bit more,
Yeah, if she wants it, then we need to
Right,
come up
right.
with
Yeah, I think
actual
that's a
numbers.
great idea.
No, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. I was with Milo until I heard that, thinking just do what you gotta do, Brendan, but I'm hearing you.
All right.
I have one more item. We have the campground is always an issue for taxes that aren't paid. And there was a gentleman that owned a campground down there. He had a kind of a porch on his place. He owes us over $2,000 in taxes. Now, the campground, we don't have anything to hang on to. It's not like the regular property. So Stephanie has prepared this, asking for you to sign a deed waiver. In other words, she's not gonna take a deed on this because she really can't. I would like to take this man to small claims court instead, and try that. But this is, Stephanie would like, just because she's doing deeds, and she needs permission not to do this one.
That makes sense.
So what do you need to take him to court, and when can you do that?
I think that it's fairly easy to do that.
You need a
as
motion
far
from
as,
us?
You know, I don't think so.
How long has he been in default?
Since 20, I think
Sorry.
she's written it there, 21 or 22.
Time to go to court.
Yeah,
oh, you've still been there too, like,
Get it settled so we can get some money.
yeah.
Thank you.
Plus the fact he sold the camper to somebody. I mean, it's,
I wonder if at some point, and if this happens a lot more around the towns, if they won't come up with an RSA where if you have a place and you're being charged taxes, we can then take a lien on your camper.
you know, it must be a nightmare for larger campgrounds.
Oh, it is a nightmare. You hear from it from the tax. Gary
You
used to
know,
talk to me about it all the time.
Thank you.
You know, if you think about, before you can cut your timber and get paid, your taxes have to be paid, or you don't get,
Well-
or you get, a lien or whatever, yeah.
Having been an employee of the town of Bristol for several years, I was amazed when you told me that it was $10,000 you had to put down for something up there, when you were cutting a lot or something.
Oh, they wanted a timber tax bond,
$10,000,
or a
yeah.
bond on the road,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, taxes are taxes, and here we're worried about how we're gonna pay for this and pay for that. You owe taxes for 5 years or 4 years, or, you know,
Just a quick question on the application stuff, before we go further. Is this something where the board can authorize you and or Therese to sign appropriate documents?
I think so.
Because I'm not sure that these are the appropriate documents based on the way they're written, but if
Yeah, I spoke with the
legal or
bank today
whatever
and I
says it
said,
is, then
yeah.
that's okay,
Yeah.
but I don't necessarily have that knowledge because it doesn't look like the appropriate document to me.
I don't disagree.
So is that an okay way for, can we
Yes.
do that?
Why don't we do that, if you
Okay.
want to?
So I would move that the board appoint Dana, our town administrator, the authority for signing appropriate documents with Franklin Savings Bank to move forward with the anticipation loan or bonds or notices.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye, what you said.
I've never signed for $1 million loan before.
There you go.
Holy mackerel.
not as fun as you
I won't
think.
sleep for a week.
We done?
Are there any further?
I have nothing further for public.
No.
I know it's
I know,
10:05.
we knew this was gonna be a
Okay.
no fun meeting.
Well, we gotta do what we gotta do.
Okay, so we are done with signing, we are done with motions and payments. All right, so what do we need?
I need a non-public session under personnel, and I have 3 items. I don't know if I need 3 separate meetings
Probably
or
not.
if I can just,
I think generically it's okay, cause it's all the same thing.
okay. All right.
All right, I would move that at 10:14, we enter into non-public session for personnel.
My second.
Okay, and the roll call vote, Dave
Aye.
Conway, yes.
There you go.
Marlo Herrick, yes.
I'll go.
All
Sorry.
right, so thank you all
So
for
you
joining
getting
us
up,
if you
let
have.
know if you need to
There will
stretch.
be no resumption from the stream, for the stream.
Lock doors.
Because once this is done, we will re-enter the public session purely to exit it.
Not that I think anybody's out there with a glass, but.